Hiring isn't just about finding someone willing to take the job. You need the right person with the right background who can move your business forward. If you want candidates who truly match what you're looking for, trust Indeed-sponsored jobs. With Indeed-sponsored jobs, your post stands out to quality candidates who actually fit the role. According to Indeed data, 90% are more likely to be hired and trusted by 1.6 million companies. Spend more time interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Less stress, less time, more results. Now, with Indeed-sponsored jobs. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to help your job get the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/Podcats13. Just go to Indeed.com/Podcats13 right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/Podcats13. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Do it the right way with Indeed.
AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.
Happy holidays! Want to give your host a gift? Consider subscribing, rating, and reviewing the show this holiday season. It really helps the show grow. From all of us at Believe, have a Merry Christmas, everyone, and a Happy Holiday.
Hey, Canuck fans, welcome to the Line Change Podcast, a proud member of the Hockey Podcast Network, and we're here live for our post-game show as the Vancouver Canucks have defeated the New York Islanders by a score of 4-1 in a game where they outshot the Islanders 30-20. So for once, the Canucks actually outshoot their opponent and managed to win. Not only that, but break out the brooms as the Vancouver Canucks are able to complete the New Jersey/New York leg of their road trip with a sweeping in New Jersey and in New York, and well, both places in New York plus Long Island as they head into Boston on a 3-game winning streak. I have to ask though, have the Canucks forgotten how to tank? Like, I thought we were tanking. I mean, you trade away your captain, you start the rebuild, start the tank. I mean, this is 3 wins in a row now. And I guess you can throw that theory out that they can't win when they outshoot their opponent. Sorry, Whit. But no, I'll admit I actually missed the first period. I was actually down for a nap. I ended up having a nap, and I missed the entire first period. So I missed most of the goals from this game, which really sucks because there were, at least on the Canucks side, a lot of goals. As you can tell, it was 4-1 for the Canucks. Obviously, having looked back, despite the 3 goals in the period, the Canucks did kind of start out a little sloppy in the first, but we're able to tighten it up a bit. Tonight was definitely, of course, the Kiefer Sherwood show. Not the first time we've said that this season, and he's really making a case that he's going to get a massive payday in the summer, whether he re-signs with the Canucks or not. A lot of people are leaning towards him not re-signing with the Vancouver Canucks, as apparently the Canucks do not want to go above $3 or $3.5 million and Sherwood's probably going to be commanding between $4 and $5 million. If you're crazy, he might even be thinking about 6 at this rate. Perhaps he's really upping his value and trying to get the Canucks that first-round pick in exchange for him. That being said, and moving on, let's go ahead and take a look at the game stats, and then we'll go through all the goals. And then around 7:30, maybe 8, we'll have Trevor Beggs joining us on the postgame show. Gerald will also be joining us as well at some point. So let's go ahead and take a look at the stats. So as we said, 30 shots on goal for the Vancouver Canucks, 23 for the New York Islanders. So they have since updated the shot count for the Islanders up to 23 instead of 22 or 20. The face-off percentage, the Canucks were 54.9%. The Islanders were 45.1%. Canucks were 28 out of 51. The Islanders were 23 out of 51. Penalty minutes, 6 for the Islanders, 8 for the Canucks. 10 hits for the Canucks, 21 hits for the Islanders. So the Islanders out-hit the Canucks, despite the Canucks having Kiefer Sherwood on their team. Block shots were 14-12 in favor of Vancouver. Canucks with 17 giveaways, Islanders with 16. Canucks had 6 takeaways, and the Islanders had 3 takeaways. So let's go ahead and take a look at the goals in this game. First period at 8:57, it was David Kampf with his first as a Vancouver Canuck. And actually, I believe it was his first of the season as well, assisted by Jake DeBrusk to make it 1-0 Vancouver. And then you had Kiefer Sherwood at 10:35, scoring his 14th of the season, assisted by Evander Kane and Marcus Pettersson. Sherwood would score his second of the game at 15:47, so about 5 minutes later, to make it 3-0 Canucks on the power play, his 15th of the season, assisted by Filip Hronek and Tom Wielander. And then there were no goals in the second period at all. So let's move on to the third period. Anders Lee would break the Thatcher Demko shutout at 14:55 of the third period, scoring his 9th of the season, assisted by Callum Ritchie and Matthew Barzal. But have no fear, Kiefer Sherwood is here. Sherwood would score his 3rd of the night, getting the hat trick at 18:39 of the third period, assisted by Filip Hronek. So Hronek with a 2-point night here tonight as well. And Sherwood completes the hat trick, does not complete the natural hat trick like Shorty was trying to say on the broadcast, because you can blame Anders Lee for that. But Sherwood with the hat trick, and he basically seals the deal, and the Canucks win 4-1. Let's take a look at the shots on goal in this game. Hang on a sec. 9-7 in favor of the Canucks in the first period, 11-5 in favor of the Canucks in the second period, and then the Islanders actually outshot the Canucks in the third period, 11-10, which is interesting, very, very interesting. Sorry. All right, Trevor will be joining us, it looks like, in about 5 minutes or so, so that's going to be great. Let me get back to our stats. Let's go ahead and take a look at some individual stats. On that note, so Brock Besser, you had, who was a -1. Time on ice was 19 minutes and 42 seconds. 3 shots, 3 blocks. Connor Garland was also a -1 with an ice time of 20 minutes and 14 seconds. 2 shots, 1 block. Drew O'Connor was a +1 with a 13 minutes and 40 seconds of ice time, 2 shots. Höglander, a +1. 11 minutes and 13 seconds with 1 hit. Sherwood obviously had a big game, a +2 with 3 goals, 15 minutes and 13 seconds of ice time, 3 shots, 2 hits. Sasson, the newly extended Max Sasson, was a +1 with 10 minutes and 5 seconds of ice time with 1 shot. David Kampf was a +1 with a goal, 16 minutes and 37 seconds of ice time with 1 shot. Jake DeBrusk was a +1 with an assist, 16 minutes and 2 seconds of ice time with a shot. Evander Kane was a +2 with an assist, 14 minutes and 38 seconds of ice time with 4 shots and 1 hit. Liam Ogren was there was nothing. He was a 0 for ±, so he wasn't a positive or a negative. He had an ice time of 8 minutes and 53 seconds with 1 shot on goal. Marco Rossi with who was a -1 with 19 minutes and 7 seconds of ice time with 2 shots and 2 blocks. Then Linus Karlsson, zeros across the board with 11 minutes and 21 seconds of ice time, but he did have 4 shots on goal. Looking at the defenseman, Tom Wielander with an assist, 14 minutes and 2 seconds of ice time with 1 shot, 1 block, 1 hit. Philip Hronek was a +1 with 2 assists, 24 minutes and 11 seconds of ice time with 1 shot, 1 block. Zeev Buium was a +2 with 18 minutes and 13 seconds of ice time. He had 1 block. DPD was a -1 with 13 minutes and 10 seconds of ice time, 1 block, 2 hits. Marcus Pettersson was a +1, surprisingly, and had an assist in this game with 25 minutes and 21 seconds. He led the defenseman in ice time here tonight, 3 shots, 3 blocks, and then Tyler Myers with a +1, 21 minutes and 22 seconds of ice time, 1 shot, 1 block. And then, of course, looking at the goalies, Demko, 23 shots against, 22 saves, was so close to getting that not hat trick, that shutout, and you can blame Anders Lee for him not getting it. Now, before Trevor jumps on, I'm going to do my sponsor read, and then we're going to be joined by Trevor Beggs from Locked On Canucks. And I'm excited for this. This is going to be good. So I'm going to give a big shout out to my primary sponsor, none other than DraftKings. The jaw-dropping moments that make
Drinking and driving is a decision that will change your whole world. Things will never be the same once you get a DUI, because legal fees and time in court are just the beginning. Getting into a crash is another way your world could be irreversibly changed after drinking and driving. Your vehicle may not be the only thing that gets damaged in that crash. You could face a life-altering injury or even death. But you're not the only one who could face those consequences. Your decision to drink and drive could permanently change someone else's world, whether you injure them or leave their loved ones grieving. The next time you're out drinking, call a rideshare, a taxi, a sober friend, or a designated sober driver. Always plan for a safe ride home. The only decision that'll change your world for the better is the decision to call for a sober ride. It's never worth it to drive drunk. Don't risk it. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
This is Michael Rosenbaum. Hey, folks, let me tell you that drinking and driving is a decision that will change your whole world. Things will never be the same once you get a DUI, because legal fees and time in court are just the beginning. Getting into a crash is another way your world could be irreversibly changed after drinking and driving. Your vehicle may not be the only thing that gets damaged in that crash. You could face a life-altering injury or even death. But you're not the only one who could face those consequences. Your decision to drink and drive could permanently change someone else's world, whether you injure them or leave their loved ones grieving. The next time you're out drinking, call a rideshare, a taxi, a sober friend, or a designated sober driver. Always plan for a safe ride home. The only decision that will change your world for the better is the decision to call for a sober ride. It's never worth it to drive drunk. Don't risk it. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Hockey. Experience them all with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. Missouri listeners, listen up. DraftKings Sportsbook is now live in the Show Me State. New customers, this one's just for you. Bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN, that's code THPN, to turn $5 into $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY, which is 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. Pass-through of per wager. Tax may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets, which will expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. This is a limited time offer. Copyright of the NHL 2025, all rights reserved. All right. Like I said, this game was the Kiefer Sherwood show. So he was the guy compiling the points, managing to get a hat trick. A lot of people are saying that the Canucks don't need Quinn Hughes because we've now won 3 in a row. Regardless of the win streak, the Canucks are still dead last in the NHL. Thatcher Demko nearly had a second straight shutout, as I mentioned, but you can thank Anders Lee for breaking that up. You Grinch. We will be joined by Trevor Beggs momentarily, and actually, he's right here. Let's bring him on, everybody. And I introduce to you Trevor Beggs.
What's going on? How's everybody doing? The Canucks, the tank is over, man. We're going to the playoffs.
Yeah. Playoffs? Yeah. Thank you very much for doing this, Trevor. I really appreciate it. It's great to have you on the show. I was actually just watching your guys' while I was getting ready. So playoffs. Yeah, this is great.
You gotta have fun, man. You gotta have fun.
Who needs a tank when? Who needs a tank when you got a Kiefer Sherwood? But yeah, I actually want to start off with some questions for you. Obviously, this is the first time I've had you on the show, and people might, believe it or not, might not actually know who you are. So, introduce yourself. Let us know what it is you do.
Oh, there you go. I like it, man. So I'm Trevor Beggs. For those of you who don't know, I'm a full-time sports reporter, the Canucks guy for Daily Hive Vancouver. A long grind to get there, man. I guess the short story is started writing about the Canucks back in 2013, ironically with Van City Buzz, Daily Hive, and I was writing, editing, podcasting for a long time, and then I took the full-time jump a few months back, and the Canucks proceeded to go 0-5 at the first 5 home games I covered this season. They're 1-7 when I'm at home games this season. So if you're on Team Tank, you want me in the building, man.
Awesome. On that note, how long have you been a Canucks fan?
Since the day I was born, buddy. Come on, let's do some math, man. Look, I was named Trevor. My parents are Canucks fans. I'm born in 1993. Right in Lyndon's prime. I was born a Canucks fan, man. And my parents told me my first word was "Boo-ray," watching the '94 Stanley Cup run, man. So, I remember watching the Canucks. The Messier days are a little murky, but I think my first Canuck memory is actually Todd Bertuzzi scored a goal. Like, it was sometime soon after the trade, maybe '99. I remember him ripping down the wing. I think against the Islanders, ironically, and he just ripped one home, and that's my first hockey memory. And I was like, damn, that was sick. And so, yeah, man, I've been a Canuck fan, I guess, if you want to count my memories. 25 plus years now, man, and covered a lot of mediocrity, right? The first year I wrote about the Canucks was 2013-14, the Torts years. So I hopped on board doing this, chasing the dream right when the Canucks started to suck. And it's been a lot of sucking since then, man. But I'm a Canuck fan to the core. And, like all of us, I just want to see one cup, just one, before I die.
Yeah, I echo the same sentiment. I actually probably started right around that same time, or maybe just before. Want to ask you, how did you get started with Locked On Canucks with Kyle Bowen?
Oh, Kyle, man, what a beauty! So this guy, Kyle, singled me out first day of university. So I went to Kwantlen here in good old Surrey. I'm a Surrey boy. I got to throw that out there too. But yeah, so Kyle, first day of journalism class, I don't know, we had to say something about ourselves. And I guess we just both said that we were Canucks fans, and he just came up to me after class. We've been friends ever since. We started doing podcasting together kind of back in 2017, making our own shows, just doing our thing. And with Locked On, it was ironic. So I was the managing editor for Nucks Misconduct, for those who've heard about that site. Still going, by the way. Good guys there. That site got shut down. So I stopped making my, couple bucks a month. And then I got headhunted to do Locked On Canucks at the time. And I'm like, there's no way. I got a family. I got a full-time job. I'm trying to write about the Canucks. I'm like, there's no way I can do this 5 days a week without a co-host. So I recruited Kyle. Thankfully, I swindled him into it, So I mean, he does 85% of the work on Locked On Canucks, man, which we need when we're doing a show every day.
Nice. I'm gonna bring on a regular contributor to the podcast, my buddy Gerald. He's gonna join us. I believe he has some questions himself, so let me bring him on. And look at that, we got a 3-way going here. Whoop.
Sweet. Hey, Trevor, how's it going, man?
Great, man. No, it got me excited with the three-way talk, man. Holy, 3 wins in a row, talking 3 ways, man. Oh man, Tyler got spicy there.
Yeah. I'm just gonna jump on for a bit. I because the show's all about you. I'm usually just here to support Tyler for his streams. But tonight's all about Trevor. So yeah, man, I've been looking up on your some of your articles lately. The big one today about the rings. Like your thoughts, and also have you heard about the rumor that Aquilini's didn't want the Canucks to win in 2011 because he didn't want to get the rings?
I know I haven't heard that rumor. I mean, I think even Aquilini probably would have forked out the money to get some rings if they were able to pull it off in 2011. But yeah, the news today is kind of surprising, man. And my first instinct was like how often does this actually happen? Like, is this being sensationalized? So I started looking back at past Calder Cup champions, and yeah, a lot of them got them, at the beginning of the season, right? They would do a whole ring presentation at the beginning of the season. That's what the Hershey Bears did when they won last year. And for the slow teams, there's a couple of things, the Charlotte Checkers in 2019, the Marlies in 2018, something like that. They got their rings in early December, and that was kind of late. So the fact that we're almost at Christmas and the Canucks still don't know when they're going to get the rings, yeah, it's a bit of a bad look on the organization for sure. And shout out to Ben Lipka from Abbotsford News for doing the real grunt work there and getting the story. But yeah, it's a bit of a black mark on the organization for sure. And there's a pattern here, right? That's what Canuck fans I think should get worried about. Is there's a pattern of no practice facility, no rings, no plan. You know what I mean? There's reason to be kind of concerned about some of the things that are going on in this organization, and I think it's been reflected on the ice over the past number of years.
Yeah, for sure. And with the wins today, I mean, it just feels like after the trade, they're getting three wins in a row. They're out of the basement. They just jumped over the Sharks and who else is at the bottom?
It was the Kraken and the Predators are who they're ahead of.
Kraken, yeah, Kraken and the Preds. So they jumped them. And if somehow they win tomorrow against the Bruins, there's a chance they'll jump over the Jets, the Blues, and the Mammoth, unless Mammoth wins tonight. So it's just, I think there's just so much of this. We'll see how it goes. And if it goes well, then we'll go. But they did put the word rebuild in that statement that they put out after the trade, right? So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think they're trying to the people in that organization know this market, right? They know that they've wanted to hear the word rebuild, right? So even if they don't fully mean full tear down rebuild, which I think they've indicated through both their moves and comments that have come after the fact, that's not really their plan to do a full tear down rebuild. But I think the word rebuild, they know it gets them a bit of a PR win. But again, you can only get so much of a PR win, right? Your moves actually have to back that up as well. And look, I think there's all agreement that we got a pretty good return considering the circumstances on the Quinn Hughes trade, right? Zeev Buyam, bit looking pretty sharp out there. Rossi's a good piece. But again, for me personally, I still wonder if the better organizational move would have been to focus more on futures. It's not a mistake that the Canucks got not just prospects and picks, but 3 players who could play in the NHL right now, because they don't really want to be a bad team for 4 or 5 years, right? I do wonder if the best move long-term on the Hughes trade would have been getting 2 to 3 first-round picks back instead of maybe a guy like Ogren in there. Again, this organization, I think we'll see what their next moves are. But I can almost tell you for a fact that this is not a team that plans to be bad for 4 or 5 years and fully tear it down.
So do you see it as more of a to please Aquilini kind of move? You have all these young assets coming in that can slot in right away. Ogren, I mean, personally, I think I've seen him play a few games, especially the last game, pretty clutch. And then he only ended up getting 7 minutes, which is weird because I thought he'd break through because he was scoring, right? But do you think this is more of sorry, what I meant is Ogren, I always thought would be great to get some reps in Abby. Abby's playing tonight. I think they're tied right now. 1-1.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, it'd be better for him development wise to be in Abby top minutes, play with Lekermaki, and wouldn't that be the better move? And also, secondly, it's to win games so Aquilini can get more butts and seats, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, this organization is scared of losing seats on a long rebuild. I believe that. And when if you hear Locked On Canucks tonight, I know Kyle was going off about playoffs, right? Like, he just wants to see maximum chaos, the best story. He wants to see the Canucks sneak in and play the Wild in the first round, which would be like the ultimate theater. And my heart wants that too, but I know what's best for this team because we've seen them spin their tires for over a decade now. The best thing for this team is to tear it down. But in terms of appeasing the owner, again, I don't think Rutherford at 77 has the appetite for a long rebuild. I don't think Aquilini has the appetite for a long rebuild.
I'm going to go for one more question since I think Tyler's doing his thing. There's another article that you wrote about Ratu. I think everyone is asking. Everyone is asking, why is Ratu in? Because, we're on a rebuild. And obviously Adam Foote has, in your article, it does state, he chose David Camp over Ratu because of the defensive side of things, winning faceoffs. I mean, Ratu has been winning faceoffs also, but like, why is he being in the press box? And if that's the case, if you're going to choose him over that, when PD comes back, you're going to send him down to AHL to Abby anyways. Why not send him down there? He gets the play, gets some reps in instead of sitting in the press box doing nothing, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty convinced that they would lose Aatu Ratu on waivers, right? So he is a waiver eligible as of this season. And I would love to ask Foote, right? It's a shame that I'm not on the road and that there's not a lot of media on the road. I would love to ask Foote why Ratu's not playing. And I've kind of asked about Camp earlier on when I was at the rink, and he echoed the similar things, right? Like, he kind of just gave him kudos that, he was not playing a lot of hockey and he was just getting back in the NHL. And then obviously had the quotes on the road here about how great he's been defensively. But I again, like you said, I feel like Ratu's done the same thing as David Camp, right? But he's been more successful offensively as well. I know David Camp, the one big leg up he has on Aatu Ratu is on the penalty kill. He has legitimately helped the penalty kill. And Ratu was not great on the penalty kill. But again, it's been a relatively small sample size with him there. But yeah, Ratu should be in the lineup right now. Absolutely. I mean, he leads the team in even strength points. At least he did heading into this game tonight, which is mind-boggling that Aatu Ratu is the team leader in that department. But yeah, I think he deserves the minutes, right? And, again, this team isn't winning the Stanley Cup this year. So what are we doing, boys? What are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing playing a 30-year-old David Camp over Aatu Ratu, right? It doesn't make any sense to me. Aatu Ratu, find a way to get him back in. Like, I would put him over Camp, to be honest. I know this organization is not going to do it. I think it's probably Ogren is the guy they would take out right now, right? Like, maybe I'll ask you guys, like, if they're going to put Ratu back in, who are they taking out right now, in your opinion?
No, but here's also the other question. Like, are they playing Camp up just in case, there is a need for a defensive center at the trade deadline? You can flip him, get some assets back. Maybe it's that play, right?
Yeah, I don't think that's the plan with the Canucks. I see where you're coming from, Gerald. I think at best they're getting like a 6th or 7th round pick for him, right? Like, I know it was mainly based on his contract, but like any team in the league could have had him earlier this season before the Canucks signed him, right? Like, it was just a straight free agent.
But they didn't see his defensive play, which he's obviously improved the Canucks PK. I mean, they've jumped up from the bottom up quite a few spots ever since he's slotted in. So
yeah,
it could help another team on the bottom 6, right?
I do think though, and I think there's two sides of it, because there is a lack of centers in this league, right? I do think there has to be a bottom line offensively, right? Like, he scores tonight, like he finally gets one in, but he's more or less been a black hole offensively, right? Like, every time the puck is on his stick, the play dies, and that's been the case pretty much until he scored tonight. Like, just not much.
He played well tonight.
He did get a goal. That's what I'm saying. His first good offensive play of the season ends up in the net, but Yeah, I'm just trying to think of what team would give up even a 6th or 7th round pick for him. I think it's possible. Like if he starts to get a couple points and continues to play well defensively and helps the penalty kill, I think there is a chance you could get a 6th or 7th round pick for him. But do I think they're purposely trying to play him up for trade? No, I think Foot legitimately prefers Camp in this lineup over Ratu.
Tyler, you had some questions too.
You kind of took one of them. That was one of my questions was about Ratu, except not Camp. I was going to say take out O'Connor, your whipping boy there, Gerald. But yeah, I was going to say, like, why is O'Connor at center and not Ratu? I mean, I think I saw something, may have been on social media or something, but perhaps is there a disconnect between management and coaching? Because management's like, we want to get younger, then why is Ratu not in the lineup? You know, he's young. He's younger than O'Connor. And then you got a guy who's never played centering your third line.
Actually, no. O'Connor actually has played center in the past. So it's not like they're just throwing him in. Like if it was Besser, he'd be throwing him in because he's never played center. But O'Connor has played center in the past.
But he hasn't really played at the NHL level, right? Like I was trying to look back at it a bit, and like there have been some moments, but for the most part, he's been a winger at the NHL level. I think the Canucks are just galaxy braiding it a bit, right? Like again, back to my original point about we're not competing for a cup, so play the young guys, right? Like Evander Kane. I know he probably played his best game as a Canuck tonight, but like just moving forward, like I would just rather see Ratu in the lineup over a Kane or an O'Connor. Players like that, right? But I think they got Höglander back. They don't want to take any of the veterans out. So really, if you're putting Ratu back in, you're probably taking out Ogren or Camp. Like I don't see who else you're taking out right now.
Yeah, definitely. I did have this. Is Sherwood a like double agent or something like that? You know, putting up all these points and these goals, knowing he's likely to be traded. Is he doing this to try and get the Canucks a first round pick? Because I know there's been a little back and forth about, you know, is he worth a first round pick? Is he worth a second round pick? And now then he goes and puts up a hat trick. It's like, is he like a double agent, like trying to like get the Canucks? Let's get you guys a first round pick.
You know, I think you might be onto something there because I think about it, man. You know, like the Canucks are the team where Sherwood broke out as an NHLer, right? Like I know Nashville, he had the moment in the playoffs. He had a good season there. But he really broke out as a legitimate, surefire NHL player once he became a Vancouver Canuck. So, you know, like the city's been good to him in that regard. And maybe he wants to be good to the city as well by helping us out moving forward here, get us that first round pick. And look, if he I do think there's a team conceivably out there that could trade a first round pick for him. I've said it before though. I think the Canucks might have to attach like a 4th or a 5th if they truly want a first. I don't know if you're going to get a first straight up for Sherwood. Like I keep going back to the Scott Laughton trade from last deadline where it was, I believe the Leafs gave up like a 1st and a 4th round pick or something like that. But the Flyers had to add some stuff to it too. So it was, I'm forgetting the trade now, but that was a trade where again, it was Scott Laughton plus for a first round pick. Right. So maybe there's something like that where the Canucks add a bit and you can get the first for Sherwood.
Yeah.
Have you, since we're talking about Sherwood, have you heard about the one with the Islanders? I mean, they just played them tonight. It's Sherwood to Islanders for the Colorado first, and a player called Maxim. I don't know how to pronounce this, but it's a Russian fellow. Tais Palov. He's a left-handed right wing.
Yeah, something like that. And honestly, I'm glad you brought up the Islanders because they were kind of in the Sherwood rumors early on. And they are a team. I think if you're going to get a first for Sherwood, your best bet is to target one of those teams like the Islanders that have multiple first-round picks, right? And, you know, the Islanders' performance tonight, maybe it's screamed that they need a guy like Sherwood in that lineup. I mean, Sherwood could conceive, like, easily play in their top 6, right? Like, their wingers tonight were, you know, like Duclair and Drouin. I don't know. I think Sherwood's probably as good as those guys, right? You know, Anders Lee's up there as well. If not better. What's that? Sorry?
If not better. I mean, Sherwood, obviously you can see him. Like he's just, I mean, with exception of the hat-trick goal today, like I didn't really see much emotion because it's probably, he's just like, whatever, I got a hat trick. I mean, he did it against Colorado. He did it against this year. But it seems like he's just playing for himself right now. Like, it's not like he's playing for the team. He's not excited. Oh, we got to win. So it just seems like he knows the writings on the wall, and he's probably just trying to boost, like you guys were saying, boost up the trade value.
Yeah, Sherwood's a dog, man. I mean, he's definitely one of my favorite Canucks to watch. Oh, yeah. You want to say hi, dude? Oh, there we go. Can you say go, Canucks, go?
Go, Canucks, go.
There we go. Oh. Yeah, man. Kiefer Sherwood. How about this? You guys think Kiefer Sherwood should be the new captain? Man, like, screw trading Sherwood. Let's just bring this guy back. Put the C on his chest, man. The guy is a fan favorite out there, works his ass off. Good example for the young guys. Never mind trade Sherwood, man. Let's extend this guy and put the C on him, boys. What do you think?
Yeah, hey, I'd be down for it.
Dude, he's 30 though. I mean, there's players that are rejuvenating right now. I mean, Sid, Malkin, like all the older guys this year have been doing this, I don't know, revenge tour of some sort, which PD said he would do. But these old guys, I mean, they're showing up. They're scoring goals, getting points. Sherwood could potentially be one of them. Maybe he's one of those late bloomers. And but what I'm kind of pissed off is, why didn't they sign him in the offseason for the 3.5? If they're willing to give the 3.5 now, why weren't they willing to do that before he went on this tear? Because I'm pretty sure he would have been like, okay, done, 3.5, 4 years, 3 years, whatever it is. He would take it.
Yeah, I do wonder if it would have been closer to 4, but yeah, at the end of the day, you would have been getting a good player, right? I think it was a couple of things. I think they were probably scared to make the bet. Like, is this guy just a 1-year wonder? I would have felt pretty confident making the bet on Sherwood, but I think the second one was the team sucked last season, right? And maybe they have it in their mind that if the season doesn't go well, you've just extended this guy, and they've been handing out no move clauses like candy. Or no trade clauses, right? Even freaking Drew O'Connor gets one. Yeah, I do wonder if there would have made it a bit harder. It was a weird move,
my God.
Weird move. Got called,
bro. Okay. Oh my God. Okay, you're gonna get me started, and Tyler knows this. Why the hell would you extend Drew O'Connor and not Kiefer Sherwood? You have someone that hits like a machine. He was the top hits leader last year. Even if he doesn't score the goals this year, like he's the goal scoring leader for the Canucks. Just the hits alone would have been worth the 3.5, maybe even 4. Why wouldn't you extend someone like that and extend Connor just because he's from Pittsburgh? You have a relationship with him. Like, what? You're just gonna be like, you get an extension. You get an extension, like, just because you're from Pittsburgh. Same as Marcus Pettersson. Like, I don't get it. Like, it's more than I mean, it's not a bad contract, but the way he's playing this year also does not equivalent to that extension. Do you agree?
I'm going to clip that too, by the way.
With Marcus Pettersson, for me, the big gripe was that they made the trade in the first place. I actually thought the extension at the time was fair value for what he provided, and he's underwhelmed this season for sure. He's definitely looked better in the 3 games since Hughes is gone, which is kind of weird. But again, I'm small sample size. You get a couple of mid teams in there. But for me, the big problem was like just trading the pick in the first place for him. Like it was such a rushed win now move for a team that clearly wasn't on the precipice of doing anything special last season, right? So I wouldn't have made the trade in the first place. I think when you saw all these signings happen in the offseason with defensemen, the Marcus Pettersson deal actually started to look a lot better. So I think that contract in a nutshell, I'm fine with the contract. It's the fact that they flipped a 12th overall unprotected pick in the first place to even get Marcus Pettersson.
Man. And how about Doc? Like that extension for Doc. It was days after he arrived in Vancouver, I think. It was after that, those 2-3 games, he scored a goal, he looked good, and then he got an extension. Like that was another one that was mind-blowing.
Yeah, I think with the Doc one, it was probably a simpler one to negotiate, right? It's like, this is what your value is, your 4th line player. I wonder if there's more variance on Kiefer Sherwood. Like, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Like, is his agent pushing for 5, right? And the Canucks are like, I don't quite know about that. Like, it is hard to know what's going down behind the scenes, but I do think I'm galaxy braiding it a bit too much here, because Kiefer Sherwood, if you're going to dish out some money to your winger group. Like Kiefer Sherwood is clearly the guy to choose, right? So, but yeah, and who knows? Even if you re-sign Sherwood and not Drew O'Connor, maybe you don't end up getting a Vander Kane. You don't have an extra, $1 million or $2 of space, right? So, what to set up another domino chain of events, man. I do love the rabbit hole.
The Kane one was also just bonkers. Like I don't get it. We basically traded Podkolzin for Kane and took on more money. But before going to that, I just want to add. Yeah, but the one thing I want to add is the Kiefer Sherwood. This whole debacle for this season, it feels very similar to Bo. So when Bo was going through all of the the last year of his contract, he started scoring a lot of goals. And they could have had the opportunity to re-up him in the summer. They didn't do that. And this is basically what Sherwood is doing all over again to the management and saying, hey, you guys didn't bet on me in the summer. I'm showing you what I can do. Like, do you see the similarities in that?
Yeah, potentially, right? I think guys often do get motivated in the contract year. And, Bo proved to be worth the money in a sense, right? Like I know it seemed like a bit of a bloated contract at the time, but look at this guy now. We're almost 3 years since he's been gone. He's putting up the same numbers that he did in that contract year, right? 3 years older. He's on like the precipice of potentially making Team Canada. I know he's probably not going to make it. He's right in that bubble, but I think he's got a shot of making that team if he comes back and he's healthy. I think both Horvat and Sherwood have some dog in them, right? Like that's a big thing too. Those guys, they play their ass off. They try their ass off. Look, I love Bo Horvat in Vancouver. I thought he was actually, like one of the nicest guys to deal with too. When you talk about maybe some guys with bad energy in that locker room, Horvat was legitimately a really good guy to deal with. So, and Sherwood is too. So like there actually are like a lot of parallels when I think about it between Horvat and Sherwood and what they're doing right now. With Sherwood in a contract year and obviously Bo in a contract year back in the day.
I'm glad you brought that up because back in the day, they also talked about something about the whole country club locker room, that thing. It was between JT Miller and Bo Horvat, right? So if I'm not wrong, but what was all that about? And was it like Team JT and Team Bo? It was a divided locker room at the time, or what was it like? Were you doing the media at the time?
Yeah, I was part-time back then. I'll say like I didn't hear like any credible rumors that there was like a Team JT and a Team Bo. It wouldn't shock me because JT Miller's kind of seemed like that guy through his NHL career, but I don't know anything for a fact. I think a lot of it just stemmed from the fact that Bo was a leader on a team that was doing a lot of losing, and I think he kind of became the scapegoat for it, whether it was fair or not. I think that's more where it came from, and Bo isn't necessarily like a fiery, passionate guy like Miller. Bo is definitely a very laid back guy, like easy to talk to. He's a lot more stoic, like Henrik Sedin. Like that's why I thought Henrik Sedin was a good mentor for Bo, because I actually think there's some personality similarities between those guys. But yeah, I think Bo just kind of became the scapegoat for a Canuck team that, had been to the playoffs, once in 6 years or whatever it was since he was a rookie.
The bubble. Are you just it was only just the bubble, right?
It was the bubble. Yeah, it was the only year, man.
And does that count?
But he ripped it up. And I know people don't want to count it. Like it was a weird time, but it was technically playoff hockey, and Bo ripped it up, man. Like he was sick.
Tyler, do you have any other questions for Trev?
Yeah. I'm just trying to make sure everything's all. I'm not used to three-ways, so I had to fix some things around.
Yeah, man,
but I can jump off.
Right, only a few guys in life get lucky enough to get to that level.
I ask this of every guest who comes on. If there's one thing in Canucks history you could change, what would it be?
What came to my mind first was Tom Glardy buying the Vancouver Canucks. Because I think it starts at the very top, man. I think it starts at the very top, and we've seen what can happen with the meddling owner. A guy who's maybe been a little cheap in some areas too, right? I think it starts at the top, man. And, if I could change one thing, aside from just, I don't know, I guess bringing back, Ryan Kessler or something in the Stanley Cup final would have helped, like a healthy Ryan Kessler or Dan Hamhuis. But no, I think it starts at the top, man. So I think we could have saved a lot of sadness in this market if Tom Glardy was running the show, Tom Glardy and Ryan Beatty instead of Francesco Aquilini. So I'd say that's the one thing I would change.
Wow, I really like that. Usually people's first thought is, Stanley Cup final, but that's kind of like the cop-out answer. But I love this answer because it's ironic too, because I kind of work for Tom at Grouse. So that would be pretty cool if he owned the Canucks too. Maybe I'd be going to more games. But that's besides the point. We didn't really talk about this. I know it's kind of been talked about ad nauseum for the last week, but I just want to get, what was your initial reaction to the trade last week?
My initial reaction was I thought it was one of the darkest days in Canucks history. I thought it was just a complete and utter failure of this organization that they had to trade away their best player in the prime of his career. And it's funny, man, because my co-host on Locked On Canucks, Kyle Bowen, he's got at me on this. Like, he's more on team, Hughes quit on the Vancouver Canucks. Like, F this guy. He quit on the team. He was the captain. Like, he should have been here. For me, man, I think guys are competitive, and I see a side of that, but I think guys are competitive, and the Canucks just utterly failed to build a contender around Quinn Hughes. And, they made missteps at the time that, probably would even like overly criticize, right? Like, to me, like the big turning point was choosing, JT Miller over Bo Horvat. And like most Canuck fans, I thought JT Miller was the clear choice to be traded, right? Like, Horvat's the captain. He wants to be here. Him and Pettersson could be a good 1-2. Miller's scoring more points. You can probably get more value for him. They chose to keep Miller. They kept the player with the higher ceiling, and it looked like it was going to work. And then it completely blew up in their faces. So, like, that's what turned this franchise around. And, of course, there have been missteps since then as well. So I think they just failed to build a winner around Quinn Hughes. And I think, like, it's probably one of the darkest days of Canucks history, aside from, losing either Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals or, Messier and Keenan becoming Canucks. Like, I think this one's right up there. So that was my initial reaction. I think when you look back on it, kind of like I said at the top, like, you got a good return considering the circumstances. I probably would have gone more first round picks, more future looking myself. Like, take a dart throw on a team that might be bad in a couple of years. See if you can get a top 3 pick out of that. But at the end of the day, they got a 5 return. But still, the fact that they even had to trade Quinn Hughes in the first place, it's a complete failure from ownership down.
Were there other offers that you saw that potentially could have worked out? Did you like any other offers that were rumored out there?
Yeah, I mean, I thought Detroit's one was pretty good.
Two first,
it's funny
right?
that they balked at the asking price. But there wasn't a player with Bouillam's ceiling, right? Like, Edvinson is good, but he's not there. You might have gotten a better center in return, though. And I think that's a team you bet on to actually be bad. But yeah, the other one that I'm still thinking about is Washington. Like, people said Washington weren't a serious player because they didn't want to trade Ryan Leonard. They didn't want to trade Ilya Protast. But a package of like Cole Hudson, Connor McMichael, and 2 firsts. Like, say they wanted to throw 2 firsts in that package, and you get McMichael and Hudson. I would have gone for that. I would take the extra first round pick. Like, is Washington going to be good in a couple of years? I don't know. They're trying to take one last kick at the can. So, like, that's the offer in my head that I keep coming back to, is if that Washington was on the table, if Hudson and McMichael were the guys they're willing to part with, and they were willing to throw in a couple first, if that was out there, I think that's the deal the Canucks probably should have gone for.
Because especially if this is Ovi's last year and they kick the can and they don't do so well next year, that first round pick could be quite high, right?
Yeah. And I think the Caps got some good pieces, and I know there's so much parity in the NHL, but I'm not super bullish on the Caps. I'm really not.
Definitely. Let's go to the people. We got lots of comments in here. I want to get to them. Some pretty good ones too. Let's start with this one. Lots of optimism with this one. Canucks are winning the Stanley Cup. I like it.
Which year? This year?
Yeah.
Woo! Spicy, man.
Let's see.
Hey, I like dreaming, man. I like dreaming. When Kyle talks about, like, let's sneak into the playoffs and play the Wild the first round, I guess my balls tingling, man. Like, let's go. Like, that is what my heart wants to see. Let's beat the Wild in round 1, go on a run, pull off some 2019 St. Louis Blues shit, and let's just rock, man. Let's just rock. But that's what my heart wants. My head knows that that's not the direction this team should go, because there's a 0.1% chance of that outcome.
No, but hypothetically, there's no way they could outrun Colorado anyways. and Canucks would probably sneak into
Yeah.
wild card too.
Like unless you're betting on Demko just like pulling a rabbit out of his ass, like that's really what you're banking on, right? Like I kind of said it in our post game show tonight, but tonight was really the first game of the season where I felt like I was watching what I expected Adam Foote hockey to look like. I expected to look similar to Rick Tocchet hockey, where you have a good defense, don't allow those shots in the home plate area, as he used to say. You get top 5 goaltending, right? Vezina-like goaltending from Demko, and you're just good enough offensively, right? You can kind of lull the team into, having some counterattack opportunities, get a couple goals a game. That's what they pulled off tonight. Like this is the Canucks team at its peak that I expected to see this season, and ironically, they did it without Elias Pettersson or Quinn Hughes in this lineup.
No, but that's the reason. I feel like because PD and Huggy aren't in the lineup, the power play looks better. It's none of this pass, like looking for the perfect shot and shoot. The guys are actually, they know where each other are. The power play looked great tonight for once. Like, I'm not complaining about it.
Yeah, I thought it had some shaky moments, but it looked pretty clean for a group that has not played together for a lot.
Yeah.
And I think what you're alluding to, Gerald, is a lot of the power play this season was Quinn Hughes at the point, running around, doing crazy shit, and then throwing into shin pads, right? Like that was basically what was happening on the power play for most of this season. Like I felt watching the team this season that they've been playing like individuals. They're not playing like a team. Like when Quinn Hughes and Pettersson were in this lineup, there's enough talent on this team where they should not be the worst team in the NHL, but they don't play like a team, or they weren't playing like a team, a week or so ago, right? It looked like a team to me, playing like individuals. Like even Connor Garland out there, like dipsy doodling, but not finding anybody, right? Like no one seemed to be connected. Ironically, they started to look a bit more like a team, like definitely like a lunch bucket, hardworking group without a lot of skill. But they're looking like a team right now, which is something that we haven't seen in a while.
Totally agree.
Yeah, definitely. Gerald, you'll probably like this comment from Swerve and Urban. O'Connor is blackmailing Foote when we were talking about the whole Ratu thing. That's what it is. Yeah, that's great. I got another one. We got Nothing is Perfect is in the house. So good to see
Ross.
Russell. And he goes, Beggsy. Goes Beggsy. Yeah. And then where was this other one? Crap, what it Swerve and Urban. I guess he's referring to you, Trevor. Glad he has a shirt on this time. I guess referencing your interview with Nothing is Perfect.
Yeah, the Cookie Monster. Let's go. No, there have been some post games where I'll go shirtless. Sometimes I'm a home workout guy. I haven't been doing a lot of that lately, so that's why I haven't been as many shirts off. But I'll only do it after a win. It's definitely not happened after a loss. But they did win today, and I still kept the shirt on. So it's not a given thing for sure.
Yeah, another good one from Swerve and Urban. I think picking Miller over Bo was the work of Aquilini, which I could definitely see that. Perhaps, but
yeah, maybe it seems like an Aquilini thing to do, but I mean Horvat was having a great season too. Like I really feel like that was an Alvin Rutherford decision. I think they chose the higher ceiling guy. That one I don't think was Aquilini. Like they're both good players. It was a tough choice. Like don't get me wrong, but I think that was Alvin and Rutherford that made the choice on Miller over Bo.
Is it mainly because when Bo was drafted, they said his ceiling was probably third line center, and he became a captain, top line center. But at the same time, Miller only had that 100-point season just before. So isn't that already the ceiling? Like there's nothing more that Miller can really do.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they looked at the ceiling for Miller as like an 100-point first-line center who's going to be physical and in your face, and he was that. And I think the ceiling for Bo was always a watered-down version of Miller, right? Like a player who can get like 30 goals and maybe 70-ish points, but not an 100-point first-line center. So I think they chose the higher ceiling guy. And, at the time, like I got to be honest, I was like, damn, that's not what I saw coming. It's probably not what I would have done, but I can see the logic. And look, it worked for a period of time until it completely didn't work. And with them knowing what they knew behind the scenes about there being some animosity with Miller in the locker room, they probably shouldn't have steered that direction. It was a high-risk choice, and it blew up in their faces.
Yeah, especially because, I mean, look at that All-Star game that Bo played in right after. So he played for the Islanders, but PD and him were teammates or against each other. I can't remember. They played on the same line for the last time. And you saw that friendship. You saw that camaraderie between the two. And you're just thinking, if you look back at it now, it's like, why would you trade away a guy that PD was so good with? And then if Bo was still around, would PD still be in that slump? That's the thing that always goes through my mind is like, if Bo was still here, PD got injured or might not get injured, even if he got injured, would Bo still be on his case like JT was? And then that riff would just blow up.
Yeah, it's 100% not happening, right? Those guys got along really well. Like even to the point where, after Bo was traded, like he endorsed Pettersson to be the captain, right? He basically said like if Pettersson got chosen, like he'd be my choice. Like I would 100% be behind that, So no, those guys were incredibly tight, and it's honestly it's going to probably be one of the biggest what ifs in Canucks history. Would they have kept Quinn? Would they have had some sustained success? I'm not quite sure. Like I don't know what the answer is, but I can almost tell you it wouldn't have blown up the way it did. But would the ceiling have been lower? Yeah, maybe.
But the only thing is, I actually have a question. Like, if we were to change something in Canucks history, the one that I'm thinking about is if Besser wasn't injured during the playoffs in the second round, if Demko wasn't injured, do you think they win Game 7 and then eventually win, against the Panthers? Do you think that team was stacked enough to go against the Panthers at least the 7 games and maybe win the cup? We're talking Zadorov, Lindholm.
Yeah, I think the Panthers is probably as far as they would have gone. It's hard to know though, right? Like momentum's such a funny thing in sports, right? That's why we all love it so much. It's you truly like you can make your educated guesses, but you truly do never know what's going to happen, right? I think they conceivably could have beat Dallas for sure. Like a little Demko versus Ottinger battle, and the Canucks playing with how they were at points in the playoffs. If they had a healthy roster, I think they could have beat Dallas. Florida, I think, would have been a tough one. I have a hard time seeing that, but yeah, I like dreaming, man. So I'll go to sleep with that tonight.
Nice, yeah. I think I saw guys on like Steve Dangle saying like, yeah, if Besser was in the lineup, Demko was healthy, he could have seen them going far, or potentially beating the Oilers in Game 7. Some more comments. I'm not going to pull this one up, but Russell goes menage a trois. I guess what we were talking about earlier. And I guess you already answered this question from Russell about why you decided to wear a shirt for this interview. We already went over that, so I won't go over that one. Another one from Russ though, and he's dreaming big too. The Canucks will make it further in the playoffs than the Wild this year, and it will be hilarious. Yeah, Russ has been dreaming since since we made the trade. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Like maybe I need to smoke something different, man, or just drink Russ's positivity, because I don't believe it, but God damn it, it'd be fun. Yeah. This is a question for Trevor from Justin Credible. Trevor, what comes first? The rebuild Aquilini supposedly was convinced on, the Canucks winning a draft lottery, the Abbey Canucks Calder Cup rings, or a practice facility? Jeez. Oh man, I think this one's pretty easy. I feel pretty confident about the Calder Cup rings coming in sometime in the new year. I don't know about any of those other things happening. I have very little confidence in any of the other three happening. So I'm definitely going with the Abbotsford Canucks getting their Calder Cup rings. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I can almost guarantee it happens sometime in 2026. Yeah, that was a great one, Justin. Justin's always good for those good, hard, thinking questions. But Russell, do you know the Muffin Man? The Muffin Man, his name is Quinn Hughes. Quit Hughes, man. Quit Hughes. Russ is on the Quit Hughes train. Yeah, it's Quinn Hughes probably enjoys a good muffin. Actually, he's a pretty healthy guy. I'm not sure if he would eat a muffin. It'd have to be like some kind of oat flaxseed muffin with cranberries. It's probably Quinn Hughes muffin right there.
Hey, since we brought that up, what are your views on I don't know if you read online the comments, and there's a huge divide. A lot of people saying Twitter Hughes, or people are pissed off. Do you believe it was his right to
All right, people, serious question time. Did you know that driving high is considered driving under the influence? That's right. Driving under the influence of marijuana is against the law in every state. That means even in states where marijuana is legal. That means driving high could get you a DUI. And if you think law enforcement officers can't tell when you're driving high, well, you're wrong. If you're high, they can tell. Your friends can tell. Your coworkers can tell. Even your parents can tell. Everyone can tell. So what makes you think that law enforcement officers don't know when you're driving high? You'd be wrong. They can tell too. Driving under the influence of marijuana can slow your response time and change how you perceive time and speed. So even if you think you're fine to drive when you're high, you're not. Because the bottom line is, if you feel different, you drive different, and driving high is driving under the influence. So remember, drive high, get a DUI. Paid for by NHTSA.
Hey, this is Steve Gorman, radio host, sports commentator, former drummer for the Black Crowes. The winter holidays are here, a time for festive celebrations, family gatherings, and ringing in the new year. Whether it's a holiday party, a night out with friends, or just relaxing by the fire with a few drinks, it's a season full of good cheer. But here's something else to add to your holiday plans, a safe and sober ride home. Just like in sports and music, always have a game plan. And the most important part of any plan is sticking to it. If you plan to drink, take that plan a step further. Call a rideshare, a taxi, a sober friend, or have a designated driver lined up before the night begins. Drinking and driving is a decision that can change your life and the lives of others forever. A DUI, a crash, an injury. The consequences are real and lasting. So please, for your sake and for everyone else on the road, make the smart choice. Get a sober ride home. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Sort of just leave, or do you believe he was also quitting? Like, which side are you kind of on? Or
I mean, I really do think it's a mix of both. To be honest, like, he did quit on the team. I don't know if you can argue that, right?
Yeah.
Like, he didn't want to stick it out. He said, "Fuck this team. I'm getting out of here." And he's got the C on his chest. So yeah, there's definitely an element of quitting, but it is also his right, man. Like, well, we're talking about sports at the end of the day, right? Like, if you're not happy and you're good enough to force your way into a better situation, man, like, all the power to you. So that's a very Switzerland answer. If I had to pick a side, I'd probably lean with player choice, man. At the end of the day, like, I think fans should be pissed off about it, man, because sports is sports is more fun with a little bit of hate flowing through your blood. But if I'm picking one, I'm going with the player's choice, man. Like, he's one of the best damn players in the world. If he wants to be somewhere else, you know, F you, go do it in another market, but all the power to you, man. It's your choice.
because I mean, if Bo Horvat was placed in that same position, I think he would have stayed.
He had tears running down his face, man. Like 100% he was.
Like,
That guy didn't want to leave Vancouver.
So do you think Quinn is not well? There's some hard words out there saying that he's the worst captain. Do you agree with that?
That's still Mark Messier. If we eliminate the obvious, I mean, maybe. I'm trying to think of like who are other bad Canucks captains. Like, I know there's like a handful of guys in the 70s. I don't want to shit on guys from the 70s, man. Like, those guys are in their 70s now, you know?
But in the new age, there really isn't another person.
Not a bad choice. Yeah, I'd probably go with the guy who quit on his team.
There you go. Yeah. You heard it here.
It's not. I'm not picking Naslund or Henrik Sedin. You know, I'm not picking Bo Horvat, who wanted to be a Canuck. I'm picking Quinn Hughes, man, for sure.
Yeah, I'll clip that too. Apparently, StreamYard's got a new AI technology, so if you say clip that, it'll clip it. Just cool.
Nice.
But yeah, no, I don't think you can get any worse than Mark Messier. When it comes to a captain. We got another comment from Duolingo, who's a regular listener on the podcast. And he's asking, Trevor, did you watch that bromance documentary with Kyle yet? I'm not quite sure what he's talking about, but
he's talking about heated rivalry. On Crave. It's funny. I've obviously heard of it. I haven't seen it yet, but even at Daily Hive, we had a little Christmas party yesterday, and everyone's talking about this heated rivalry doc, man. So I think it's getting more people into the game of hockey, which I'm always a fan of. Did I watch it with Kyle yesterday? No, we made a joke about it, but I had to watch the Seahawks, man, and I had to watch history last night, man. My eyes popped out of my head, man. I couldn't believe what I was watching last night. So I chose the Seahawks over a bromance documentary.
Good to know. And then apparently, Gerald and I need to watch that together. Apparently,
Okay.
so we'll see.
Well, you guys should live stream your reactions.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I just did a live with Clay the other day. I had to trim my mustache for November to get donations, and I think that's as far as I'm gonna go with a live.
Yeah, that's effort right there, man.
Yeah, Russ, where were you earlier? We were talking about this earlier. We think Drew O'Connor is bribing Adam Foote to stay in the lineup. But yeah, we already went over this earlier, talking about Ratu and how all three of us think he should be in the lineup. And it's preposterous that he's not. Perhaps it's a little bit of Adam Foote's lack of experience as a head coach, really shining out again. But yeah, hopefully we can get the answer. Hopefully someone can actually point blank ask Adam Foote. I don't know if anyone has. What's going on?
I'll do it when I see him again for sure. That's one of the first things I want to ask. Although I'm not going to be back at a game until January now, so we got a bit of time. I'm in Alberta over Christmas, so I'll miss the first 2 home games there.
Is anyone from Daily Hive?
Well, hopefully someone else
that you could get them to ask.
I could. I'm sure someone in media is going to ask. What if he's still not playing by the time the Canucks come back after Christmas? He's 100% getting asked about it. I'll make sure of it, even though I'm not there. Yeah, I've got to fight for my boy Ratu, man. Maybe Adam Foote will even say his name.
Yeah, I'm sure someone will. Yeah, I'm sure someone will bring it up. I know J Pat's, said what's going on. Even he's questioning it. So J Pat's probably gonna say something if he can. Let's see, anything else? Oh, now all the comments are coming in. Here's a good one from Harry. Do you trade Sherwood right now, or do you wait until the trade deadline?
I think you trade him tonight, man. Before we got 4 hours till the roster resets in. I'll just trade him, man. Let's get it done. Fresh off a hat trick. No, I think you're probably waiting to the deadline on this one. I think that's typically when we see trades for pending UFAs like Sherwood be made. I think the only other reason you do trade him beforehand is if a team wants to bite while he's running hot, right? But aside from that, I think this is one that happens at the deadline.
Do you see in any realm that Sherwood stays a Canuck and gets an extension?
I do see a realm where that happens. I don't think it's the most likely realm, but maybe we'll end on this. I mean, I gotta hop out in a couple minutes here, boys, but maybe we'll end on this. And me and Kyle are going back and forth on this, but I'll ask you guys the question. Say between Garland and Sherwood, you're going to keep one regardless, and you're going to trade one. Which one would you guys keep, and which one would you trade?
Gerald, do you want to go first?
I'd trade Garland to Minnesota and keep Sherwood.
There we go, man. Put Garland back with his boy. Let's go.
Exactly.
I honestly, man, the right answer. I'm sorry. No, tell him. I'm gonna let you go first before I jump into it. I got a little excited.
I mean, I'm kind of the opposite. I say trade Sherwood, keep Garland, because I want Garland to get that C.
Ooh, yeah, you did mention in the comments that I locked on Canucks fan. There you go. I'm gonna say the right answer, then I'm gonna tell you what I want to see. I think the right answer really is just whoever you get more for in a trade is the guy you trade, and I think it probably should be Garland. I think Garland is a more valuable player, but I just think there's something with Sherwood's game where you could probably get more for Sherwood. Unless a team wants to pay more for Garland because he's got the extension and you're really making a long-term play on Garland. So I think the right answer is you trade whatever guy gives you the best return, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
My heart tells me trade Garland and keep Sherwood, man.
Yes.
Sherwood's been a dog, man. He's been a dog. And Garland has too. Don't get me wrong. But I think Garland's seen a lot of losing in his career. I think I don't know. There's just something about Kiefer Sherwood, the way he plays hockey, just laying it on the line every night, throwing his body at everything, the grind to get here. I just love watching Sherwood play. I think he's a great leader for this team. I would, if I was trading one and keeping one, I would, and I had to choose, I would be trading Garland and keeping Sherwood.
It's kind of like Burrows, right? He has that heart, that passion for,
Yeah,
like,
man.
he's a Canuck true and true, man.
Yeah. And hey, those are the two, in my mind, the two best free agent signings in Canucks history, man. Alex Burrows and Kiefer Sherwood.
But here's one thing. Do you worry that Sherwood?
100%.
I don't want to say the word, but because he hits so much, because he puts everything on the line, would there be what if he gets injured? I'm just saying that. I'm not saying he will be, because that's going to screw the whole, the trade and everything. But do you worry that he can get injured because of the style he plays?
It's funny. I don't worry about it a ton, largely because I know he hasn't played a lot of the NHL, but he's been fairly durable throughout his career. Like, if I'm looking at like a Garland versus a Sherwood, for instance, am I any more worried about Sherwood getting injured than Garland, the smallest forward in the NHL? Not really.
But Garland has been injured this year.
Coming from. There's more risk when you throw your body around like that, for sure.
Because Garland's been injured. Well, he's been out for at least a handful of games this year already.
Yeah.
And that's what I worry about Sherwood. So it's more of, if you can get a huge haul right now, do it just in case, because they usually sit out players before trade anyways, right? So why put that risk? Is what I'm sort of thinking.
Yeah. No, Tyler, we're not saying you're wrong. We're just saying that you're on an island on your own right now, man.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of figured as much, but I got a soft spot.
You're cut off now.
So. Yeah.
This is why I love sports, man, because there's not necessarily a wrong answer here, but we all think we're right.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love me some Sherwood, but I got a little, lean more towards the Garland side. I mean, heck, I'd rather us keep both of them. I'll say that. But
honestly, I'm probably on team trade. I'm probably on team trade both of them, because I want to see cups, man. And I think two fun 30-year-olds, you're probably not getting a cup that way. So in all actuality, I'm probably on team trade both. You can call me dark, man. That's fair. I just think that's what's best for the team. But I think there's very low odds they actually trade both. I don't think they have the appetite to really strip it down to that level.
It's going to be tough because they just gave Garland an extension, right? So how are other players going to see like potential free agents that come? It's like, oh, you get an extension, you get traded away. Like, what's the point of coming to Vancouver? Right? So,
and they were very accommodating to Quinn Hughes, and they didn't have to be, right? So it's I definitely think Sherwood's the more likely guy to go. Absolutely.
Hey, sorry, Trev. Before you have to head off, just one quick question. How I know you love the Canucks, you watch the Canucks, you grew up watching the Canucks. How do you take that bias away when you do your articles?
Yeah, it's a good question, man. I think one thing that's really helped me is the Canucks being bad, ironically. I think what I started doing when I started to take writing more seriously, 12 years ago now, when the Canucks were starting to be bad, it's just watching the entire game through the loss. And again, just don't get emotional about it. Like, just try to analyze like what's not working, like who's playing well, who isn't. Start scouting guys on the other team, and just trying to watch as much hockey as possible too. So like you don't really get like blinded by the blue and green glasses. Like, look, man, I just love hockey, man. I love the game. I think it's the best game in the world. So I just try to watch as much hockey as possible. I think it makes me a better fan, better analyst, better writer, whatever you want to call it. But for me, just removing the bias, like I'm always going to be a fan. Like I'm always going to cheer when they win. But I think the key is not getting overly emotional during the losses. Like just try to like analyze why it happened and give your take on how the team can move forward.
That's awesome. That's an awesome answer. Just got to say, whoever's in chat, if you haven't read any of Trevor's articles, you can catch it over at Daily Hive Sports. And it's not only just on the Canucks. He does the Whitecaps. And there's actually an really interesting article that I kind of landed on about Tim Saunders, which was quite hilarious. And I didn't imagine you writing about that, but hearing that clip it kind of made my day.
Man, I had a smile on my face in the morning. I was like, oh, I got to write about this, man. This is too funny. That was an all-time hot mic, man. Try not to make that mistake. That's a lesson for the kids. If you're in that position, always make sure the on-air button isn't on.
It's on. Yeah. But thankfully on here, definitely. We can say whatever we want, right? So
there you go, man. There you go. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for coming on, Trev. I really appreciate it. It was a pleasure to have you on as well. Hopefully we can do this again. The three of us get ourselves another menage a trois or something.
Oh yeah, there we go, man.
More stuff.
Yeah, now you're talking. Now you're talking.
Yeah. Playoffs. Yeah.
Playoffs.
Once again.
Yes. Here we
All
go.
right, one love to
honestly,
you guys,
thank you.
Gerald, Tyler. You guys are beauties. Appreciate you guys having me on, man.
Yeah.
Thank you so much
appreciate it, Trevor.
for doing this, Trevor. Appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Thanks, man. All right. There we go.
That was a lot of fun.
Wow.
Sorry, I kind of
that
took
was a lot of
over.
fun. No, it's all good. I only had so many questions. I was a little late doing like my questions because, like I said earlier, I had ended up going down for a bit of a nap and missed the first period. So, but there's that. Do you want to go over some stuff with the game? I'm just gonna pop out real quick and then I'll come right back on. If you want to, take over for a bit, and then yeah.
Do you want me to go over some comments or just run through all of this?
Yeah, go ahead. You can run through the comments. I know I've missed several. I'm not sure. Are you able to see the starred ones?
Starred ones? Yeah. There's 15 of them.
Yeah. I have starred some of them, so you can go over those real quick, and then I'll be right back.
Okay, sounds good. Or do you want me to just wait for you for those ones, the starred ones?
No, go ahead. Oh.
Tyler, do you want me to wait for you for the starred ones? Because
no, I think you can go ahead.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, cool. So some of the ones, let's see here. Just incredible. What's going on, brother? Facts, Canucks are a tire fire organization and failed on so many levels. I kind of agree. I think it's management downwards, and what Trevor actually said earlier was about Velarde, and imagine if there was different ownership. I think the team would be in a different position. Might have won a cup. Linden might have still been with the Canucks. When Gillis might have been with the Canucks a lot longer also, because at that point, if the rumors or what they said was true about Kessler for the couple of firsts and Burrows for another first, they potentially could have had the 4 firsts in that trade in, was it 2014? So yeah, man, this it goes top down. Another one, let's see here. I think Tyler went through a few of them. What comes first? Muffin Man. Justin, are you on team trade EP40 if he's willing to waive his no trade clause? If so, do you expect a return smaller or bigger than what Hughes got us? I think that Tyler, you're back. I'm just on the last start one. If you want to just bring that up, Justin was asking about EP40, about PD.
Yep.
And you know what? If they're actually going a full rebuild, I would say trade them. I mean, if we're on a full blown out rebuild, might as well trade everyone that you can possibly trade, because or else it wouldn't be a rebuild, right? The Canucks are in a sort of difficult position because there are several players that have a no movement clause. I can try to go off my head. There'd be Petey, Garland, and Demko's kicking into next year. Besser has a no trade clause. Lankinen has a no trade clause. So whatever you're able to, then do it.
Too.
And Hronik, right? So yeah, but do you trade PD right now? I don't know. I would say when he comes back, starts becoming his better self, then potentially trade him if he's willing to go. Because I would say PD also is kind of like Hughes, wants to win. But I don't know. It's odd. I was going through all the Quinn Hughes trade articles and all of that. I was actually a little surprised that PD wasn't at the dinner because Quinn Hughes had a dinner. I think it was Besser, Garland, Tyler Myers for some reason, and Hronik.
Hronik was
And
there
then,
too.
yeah. And then shortly after, apparently Tyler Myers unfriended. Did you see the news about that or the tweet about it? He unfriended Demko because Demko wasn't there. So we're just like, that's why during that last game they had all these pictures of Demko and
No. I saw something.
Yeah, so there's video of them walking into the rink together. There was a picture of them at the end of the game hugging, just to clarify things. But it's just very odd to see those relationships, like who's friends with who, and why Hughes didn't really talk to the team right after he was traded. But he only had that dinner with, like we said, Garland, Besser, Myers, and Hronik, and then no one else. Like, what's the deal with that?
Yeah.
But yeah, so what are your thoughts on trading PD?
I mean, I'm not quite sure if I've really even thought about that, just because, I think, you've traded away Quinn, you got to at least keep somebody. And PD is, he's not 25 and under. He's still like, around the same age as Quinn. So you got to at least keep
26.
somebody. Yeah, so you got to at least keep somebody like that, especially when he's signed long-term. He's got a no move, although there is a way to work around that. But you got to do it through PD. And I totally agree with you. I do think, he wants to win. But at the same time, like I said, you got to keep somebody. So I'm not quite there yet on the whole trading PD camp just yet. If there's an offer that is a lot similar to this Quinn Hughes offer, that like if you're going to get a haul for him, yeah, do it. Do it. Absolutely, 100% do it. But if it's an underwhelming return, don't do it. Maybe I'll probably have a different opinion on it, like, in the off season, or like depending on how this season plays out and how the draft plays out. But I think right now you keep him just because you need that 1C right now, even though he's out of the lineup as of right now, and you have Rossi as your 1C. I do want to see how him and Rossi play together, and hopefully it's something good. That 1-2 punch. I know Rossi's not gotten a point since he came over, but in time that will come. But yeah, I'm really interested to see how that 1-2 punch of PD and Rossi even, is, because we haven't actually seen it yet.
Because to be very honest, I think Rossi is, he is a legit 2C, but not like, elite 2C.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you need someone that is not PD. Like, you need to either have a third line center that is big, that plays, a heavy game, that can, take over the game, or, because with PD and Rossi sort of playing similar games, it's very tough for a team to go far with a 1-2 punch like that. Mm-hmm. Even with Bo, it might not be enough, but I would see Bo and PD as a 1-2. It would be a much better 1-2 than PD and Rossi. Because Rossi's a little small on the smaller side. He does play quite well, but he's not one of your typical, centermans, right?
Definitely. Yeah, just looking at some more of these comments. I guess a lot of these were before Trevor went, because I think some of them were addressed to him. But we got Campner Canucks is in the house. What's up, Rev Trev? Good to see you, buddy. Trevor Beggs is a stud. Yes, he absolutely is. It was great I'm glad I was able to get him on, and hopefully, this is not the last time that we see Trevor Beggs here on the Line Change podcast. But I found this to be interesting here. We got I think it's Handia. People saying they need to deal Garland, Sherwood, and Demko for the tank are right because like they're getting ready to trade them. But I still can't tell if they will keep them. I did see something, and I believe this was on social media, that the Canucks are apparently hesitant to trade Garland. Like they're not quite sure if they want to pull the trigger on that. There's a lot of hesitancy to trade Garland, and it's why the whole Sherwood, trade Sherwood is gaining a lot more traction. Is because they don't want to trade Garland. They would much rather keep him. But bringing up Demko, yeah, like the way he's played the last 3 games, I think that's gaining some traction for a potential Demko trade, even though he's been the only Canuck who's kind of like, been talked about in trade rumors, who's actually said he wants to stay. He's the only one who said he wants to stay.
Besser also said it.
Yeah, well, Besser as well, yeah. But I don't think you can put Besser in that trade talk conversations because, like I said, he's locked up long term. But out of the guys who are,
JT Miller was locked up long term too.
True.
It doesn't mean anything. Like when players are done, they're done. So if they want to leave, they leave. There's only 2 players actually 3 players on the current roster that have publicly said, I'm here to be a Canuck. I've always wanted to be a Canuck. And that's Besser, Demko, and Myers. Mm-hmm. So it's very tough for, the fans or even management to go, you have players that want to be here and you're trading them away. What does that say? Like it always goes back to, in the off season, if you're looking for like, you can you can draft very well. You have all these up and coming players, but at some point you're going to be needing to sign some free agent. And how are you able to bring those free agents over is the question. If you don't deal with Quinn Hughes the way that they dealt with, that's like a huge PR stunt. They didn't have to do it, but they're just trying to show the league that, you know what, even though Quinn Hughes didn't have a no trade clause, they treated him like he had. And they just want everyone else in the league to know that management is treating their players well. So with that said, it's going to be very unlikely that they trade Garland. It's very unlikely that they're going to trade Demko. Especially when these players outright said that, I want to be a Canuck. I want to be a long-time Canuck.
Mm-hmm. Wow, I got a lot of catching up to do on the comments. But I want to highlight this one for sure. Everyone, click the like button, support this channel. Really appreciate it, Trev. Same goes for Kempner Canucks as well. I'm not sure if he's live streaming tonight or not. But I find this comment,
and also for Russell too.
Duo hits this
and
right
also
on the
for
head.
Russell.
Yeah, for Russell as well. Russell as well, definitely.
Nothing's perfect.
It's so weird we are winning without Hughes and PD. Might have been a culture problem with them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, obviously the whole culture problem has been a talking point the last week or so, like since the Quinn Hughes trade. And obviously I think I saw, I'm not sure if it was a comment on another video or even like on social media where someone was talking about, Alvin and like Patrick Alvin, and then being asked that question, is there a culture problem? And him basically looking like a deer in headlights with that question. But yeah, it's definitely weird that Canucks are winning without Hughes and PD. And this has now been like 3 games in a row. And yeah. Did we have a trade?
Because I actually
breakthrough?
I'm sorry, what?
No, not Canucks related, but like
okay.
Harry saying breaking news: Montreal Canadiens acquire Philip Deno and LA Kings at the 2026 second round pick. Is that legit?
Go search that.
Let me actually. Yeah, I'm gonna go search that right now.
While
I know it's
I'm
not
just gonna
related. But
Go search that. While you search that, I'm just going to talk quickly about the whole culture thing. Well, not really the culture thing, but more about the win streak without Petey and Quinn. I just feel like players are actually finally, like Trevor also said that earlier, that they're playing more as a team. Like it looks more like Adam foot hockey, and it shows clearly on the ice. There are a lot of games before Quinn was traded. Clearly, the Canucks were actually the better team, but they end up losing because of these small, minor, mistakes that lead to goals, and that's why they lose. And I think Witt also said that. Witt from Uncensored also said, whenever the Canucks outshot the opponents, they lose. Why does that happen? Is the other goalie just that much better, or what is it? Like, they're just making mistakes they should be making those mistakes. But like tonight, watching the game, you see them. I mean, with the exception of the beginning of the third, when they started the power play, which they couldn't gain the zone. The rest of the game, they played very well, especially on the power play. Like the cycling, even David Camp, was cycling a little bit. I don't know if it was during the power play, but it looks more like a team right now. And they don't have that pressure of, oh, it has to go through Petey or it has to go through Quinn. That is the biggest, I think the stress is gone because of that. And it'd be interesting to see how Petey plays with Buem when he gets back. And because the thing is, I hated watching those power plays. Every game that I watch them do the power play, it's always this pass, and they shoot in the glove, they shoot in the pads. Like, it's just this bullshit power play that makes no sense at all. And right now, at least you see more, it's more fluid. Players are cycling around, moving around. That was the power play that was intended at the beginning of the year. You saw a lot of that in the preseason and also the first couple of games, and all that was gone after, I don't know, the first 5 games, after Hedl was injured. And that's what kind of pissed me off. But right now, it's more wide open. Players are getting touches. Players are passing the puck more and just letting the shot rip. Even Best, like, with all the chances that he's getting, he's trying. You can see the effort there. It's just that PDO isn't there. That puck luck is not there. So, I mean, I hope Besser doesn't go into this long slump because he hasn't scored in a while, but keep going at it. The goals will eventually come. Back to the whole Gretzky thing. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So just keep going at it.
And apparently that trade did go through. I just quickly Googled it. So yeah, that's a big move by Montreal to get a guy like Danault. I did see a while ago that the Kings, much like the Canucks, are hesitant to trade Garland. They were hesitant to trade Danault, which is interesting, but that's a pretty big move.
I really like this trade though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because Danault actually gets to go back to Montreal, right? So
yeah,
and it's for a second, right?
Yeah, I believe it was a
second this year, or
crap, where did it go? No, I've lost it. Here, I'll quickly look at it again. Yeah, for a 2026 second round pick.
Wow, that's wow. And it's Montreal. If Montreal doesn't make the playoffs, well, I mean, because it's snakes, right? So
yeah.
So it'll still be a low. It'll probably be a low second, anyways. So I mean, it's a good move.
Yeah.
Or sorry, no, it's LA. Wait. So LA got the second, so it's Montreal second. If Montreal doesn't do well, doesn't make the playoffs, then it's going to be a low second. Even if they make it, they're probably not going to get very far. So it's like, I would say like a 15 to 20-ish pick. It's great. It's a great deal.
Yeah. I want to go.
It helps shore up everything too. It shores up everything because
Yeah.
I mean they have injuries that they have to deal with. It's a great move.
Yeah, definitely. I want to go over this comment from Kevin K, and this is actually pretty interesting. You were mentioning, the culture just a little bit earlier. Demko said in his interview off the ice that some players were playing for points/status. You mentioned that earlier too, like talking about like Sherwood, him focusing more on like putting up points. And now everyone is playing for the team, and that perhaps that's the culture shift without Hughes and PD on the ice. Pretty darn good point to make. I didn't even actually really think of that, but that's a really good point from Kevin K. So yeah, that also kind of shows you that, there is like some sort of culture rift or whatever you want to call it or at least there was, now the players are more so playing for the team, not themselves. Which kind of makes you wonder if maybe Quinn Hughes was kind of playing for himself a little bit while he was here. Wasn't playing for the team.
He has the highest like puck possession in the league. Like the puck is always on his stick, and that's kind of the problem. And this year, obviously, his shots aren't going in. I think a couple nights ago, I watched all of Quinn Hughes's goals while he was in Vancouver. And there's actually a huge transition from his rookie year to his second, third year. He hasn't slapped the puck as much. It's always that risk. So I think after probably by the third season, he was practicing on his wrist shots, and those were deadly. It's always like top. So if you're looking at the net, it'd be top left corner. Those shots were always super accurate. And then he rarely, have those big slap shots. In the beginning, when he was a rookie, he scored a lot of those goals at the top, and he just bombed it from the blue line. So this year, I think he's gone to something like that. He's adjusted because his shots aren't going in. I can't remember how many goals he has. He has like 4 goals this year, something like that, before he was traded. And
let me look. I think it was less than that, actually. Stats. Oh, that's still weird seeing him in a Minnesota Wild jersey. 3 goals.
3 goals for the year, and he scored 1 for Mini already.
Yeah.
So it's 2 goals. Like, he just hasn't been scoring, and that was the reason. And you know what? It's weird if you go back and look at some of the games when Quinn Hughes was out at the beginning of the season for injuries. The Canucks actually played a little better, which was very odd. So that's why, just before the trades went through and all of that, I was thinking to myself, if Quinn Hughes was traded, it's not a huge it's not a huge issue because the team actually plays a little better without him. So I think it's just him grabbing the stick a little tighter, trying to do Quinn Hughes things. One of the goals that he scored, I remember, was the 5-2. It was the 5-2 goal against the Flames, and he went pretty much end to end. It was a power play, and then he went top cheese. Actually, no, he shot it, got the rebound, and swatted it in. So, and then there was no emotion, or he was just disgusted, like the look on his face. So I think the trade is good in a sense that he's finally somewhere that he's happy. He's playing well. Played well his first game. He looks happy.
Mhm.
Like the whole aura of him, of Quinn Hughes,
Yeah.
seems different. So it
Yeah.
was a good move for both ends because even if we kept him, yeah, we probably would have been tanking by the end of the year. But right now, because that's gone, everything's off the shoulders, that monkey's off the back. Players are actually playing the way they're supposed to play, right? And people are actually mad at this because there goes the tank. Well, you can't, like right now there's 48 more games. You can't expect them to lose all of them. Right?
Yeah.
But the devil's advocate is if they win tomorrow, I was saying to Trevor earlier, they jump over the Jets, the Blues, Utah, and Winnipeg. They're only three or 4 points out of the wild card position. So I feel like management is going to be like, let's go for it. I wouldn't be surprised if at the trade deadline they go for something even. They become buyers, and this so-called rebuild was done. They'll be like, oh, we reevaluated everything. The team is playing better. We could probably make the playoffs, which is what Aquaman means. And then they'll end up, making the playoffs, ruining their draft odds, and facing the Avs and a first-round exit. Is there a point? Is there a reason for that? No. But because the owner wants it, they're going to go for it. So we'll see. We'll see in the next, 10 games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Oh, this is a pretty good one from Duo. Moving back a little bit to the Quinn Hughes, I'm glad that we kind of were talking about Quinn Hughes a little bit there. This begs the question: was Quinn Hughes even captain material? No. That's a tricky question because I know a lot of people are kind of questioning, his leadership, especially with the way he left, and then all this stuff, that basically that conversation we were just having, talking about, players playing for themselves, not for the team, and just this culture shift that we're experiencing right now with Hughes not here makes you question, was he even captain material, or did they just think he could get to that level and he ended up not doing so? I don't know. I might have to sleep on this question for sure. This is a bit of a tough question. I know a lot of people have been talking about, captains lately, Bo Horvat, Quinn Hughes. I obviously made it known I absolutely love Bo as a captain. I thought he was great. And it's like what Trevor said earlier. You can't really pick a bad captain that the Canucks have had, really, other than, Quinn, I guess, like they're saying now, because there hasn't really been a quote-unquote bad captain, and except for, Messier, back in the day, but we're not talking about him.
Let's put it this way. Quinn Hughes, all the accolades. He was Norris finalist for 3 years, I believe. He won in 23-24. And that's the year he got the captaincy, right? So given that, I think it was the season before that he broke Edler's record by I think it was 400 or 500 games less than Edler to get those points. They wanted to groom him to become the captain. They wanted him to stay because you're not going to name someone that's not going to stay to be a captain, which also is a point that I'm telling all of you. Whoever thinks that Tyler Myers is going to be the captain, no. They're not going to have a captain for 1 year and be like, okay, he's retiring, and then you have to do another captain. They're not going to waste time on that. So that's why he was named captain, just to make him stay, because he is the best generational defenseman you'll ever see in a Canucks jersey. I can say that right now. Like his records are probably not going to be broken. I don't even think Zeev could do that, but prove me wrong. So that was the reason why he was given captaincy. I mean, at that point, it was either Petey, Hughes, or Miller. So of the three, which one would you prefer to be the captain? Obviously, Besser was not in line for that because they kept pushing back his extension, kept pushing it back. Besser was not going to be considered. So it was only the three, Petey, Hughes, and Miller. Miller, his style, I don't think not everyone is able to adapt to. Petey is too silent. He's not even close to the Naslin type. So it had to be Hughes. That's why he was given it to him. And at the same time, it was, you know what? His extension comes in a few years. Hopefully we can get him to stay if we win more. And that's why he was captain. And now everyone's calling him a quitter. You know what kind of person he is. Like from the beginning, you know he just wants to win games. He doesn't care if, like, even that year where we screwed up the draft position, he just wanted to win. So he won those games. He put the team on his back, and that's what he wanted to do. And Vancouver couldn't do that for him. So he left. So you can't really call him a quitter because you know what his prerogative was. That was what he wanted to do from the beginning. But the team around him, they just didn't surround him with players that could do that.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm kind of pissed off when people call him a quitter or whatnot. Good on him. He's on a team that he can win with. Be happy for him. Be happy that he was here. Be happy that, you know, we got to witness one of the best defensemen, you know, of this generation to play for the Canucks. And that's it. Let it go. We got a somewhat good return. You never know. We could get a really good player out of the draft also. Then this could immediately turn around and be a great trade, because if Buehm becomes something close to Hughes, you already won the trade because he's 5 years younger and still has time to develop. It's seriously a win, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. I love this comment from Irvin. And of course, leave it to Irvin. Quinn Hughes equals Vince Carter. That was pretty good. Bringing up the whole Vince Carter Toronto thing.
Vince didn't want to leave, okay?
Yeah.
Vince had so many investments in Toronto. You know, the philanthropy that he did, you know, the clubs that he bought. He had businesses in Toronto. He didn't want to leave. But that's another story for another day.
Yeah. But Jeff, you're right. Quinn was captain material, you could say. Who else were they going to give it to? Pettersson? Yeah, they weren't going to give it to Pettersson. I think it was Quinn was really their only option, maybe other than Miller. But, you know, everyone knows Miller and, you know, him being a bit of a hothead. Maybe they were not quite comfortable with him having the C. You know, maybe they thought Quinn would be a little bit more quiet and wouldn't, you know, have that hot-headedness. So maybe that's another reason why they went with Quinn, because from a PR standpoint, it would look better.
Did you know that driving under the influence of marijuana is illegal? That's right. Driving high could get you a DUI. And if you're wondering if law enforcement can tell when you're driving high, well, everyone else in your life can. Your friends can. Your coworkers can tell. Even your parents can tell. So what makes you think law enforcement can't tell? Well, they can. If you feel different, you drive different. Drive high, get a DUI. Paid for by NHTSA. Drinking and driving is a decision that will change your whole world. Things will never be the same once you get a DUI, because legal fees and time in court are just the beginning. Getting into a crash is another way your world could be irreversibly changed after drinking and driving. Your vehicle may not be the only thing that gets damaged in that crash. You could face a life-altering injury or even death. But you're not the only one who could face those consequences. Your decision to drink and drive could permanently change someone else's world, whether you injure them or leave their loved ones grieving. The next time you're out drinking, call a rideshare, a taxi, a sober friend, or a designated sober driver. Always plan for a safe ride home. The only decision that'll change your world for the better is the decision to call for a sober ride. It's never worth it to drive drunk. Don't risk it. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
But to be honest, if you remember the season before he got the captaincy, he was the player that spoke on the mic at the last home game. So if you look back, you obviously know they were going to give it to him at that point already. Because only the captain speaks at the last home game, and Bo was traded already. It was 3 assistants for the year, and who steps up to speak? That is going to be the hint on who the next captain is. When you listen, if you go to the last home game, whoever takes the mic and speaks, that is your next captain.
Apparently, there might be another trade, not involving the Canucks again, but it's Urban saying it's looking like Mason Marchment is going to be dealt to Columbus.
Interesting.
And Urban's like, is this the pre-roster freeze storm? Yeah, because I think I can't remember exactly what the actual time is for the roster freeze, but this is why we're seeing some moves.
1 minute
tonight.
1 minute.
1 minute. Oh,
Yeah. Closes at 9.
I'm not even.
I mean, trades could filter in right after 9, but it's midnight Eastern time, so that's in 1 minute.
Yeah, I'm not even looking at X or Twitter right now, so there's probably a bunch of stuff going on my feed that when it comes to the other teams. But just trying to comb through the comments here. There's
we have
so
a lot
many
of
of them.
comments.
Yeah, I have 27 starred.
Okay.
I think at one point we had 30 in our live. This is a good one this kind of down at the bottom. But Duo, I want to see some heart from PD like JT. I want to see him angry and hungry, but he's just soft. Very good point. I mean, we've seen a little bit of frustration from PD towards himself, on the bench, but not nearly as much as we would see with guys like JT. Why not? For sure. I'm trying to find some more. A lot of talk about, captains and this is a good one from Urban. Neither Bo or captains if Chris Tanev stayed. Do you agree?
Sorry, say that again. Sorry, I'm combing through the comments right now.
Neither Bo or Quinn are captains if Chris Tanev stayed with the Canucks.
Oh yeah, 100%. Tanev would have been the captain for sure.
Yeah, thinking back to that, kind of makes me wish we still had kept Tanev. That kind of tugs at my heartstrings a little bit because I was a big Tanev guy.
Yeah, and if Tanev stayed, it probably would have helped Quinn a lot more too. So
yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe Quinn doesn't leave if Tanev is still a part of this team.
Yeah, he would have left at some point.
Yeah. Apparently, the Dallas Stars are kicking the crap out of the Anaheim Ducks right now, 7-1. Apparently,
that's great.
Ouch!
Damn, I should have asked Trevor about the Seahawks and if he thinks that they'll win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Just trying to comb through more of these comments.
Oh, by the way, thank you, Duo, for the nice comments. Appreciate you.
Yeah. Got Harry here saying Montreal won that trade, talking about the Danault trade. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I think definitely Montreal won that trade. I believe this was, what time was this? 8:41. So yeah, Russell's already long gone. But thanks for stopping by, Russell. As always, appreciate it, brother.
And
one from
interesting.
Duo. Yeah, Demko is locked in. He's showing what he can do. Just needs to stay healthy. PD has for 2 seasons now. He can't stay healthy as well. Major red flags. Yeah, and we still don't even know what the actual injury is for PD. No, we heard
How
that
about
he.
Forward?
Yeah, Forward too. And he's been out like way longer.
Since the beginning of the season. Since the beginning of the season,
yeah.
He hasn't played a game yet, I don't think.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you know, Bluger's been out for almost most of the season. He's played like 2 games. Same thing with Hito, but we all know what Bluger and Hito are dealing with, but we don't know what PD's dealing with. I know they said that he had a MRI done and that he's, you know, traveling with the team on the road trip. We're 3 games into the road trip, and PD's still yet to play.
And it's super odd because they sent down Baines and risking losing him to waivers, and he didn't play this game. He was at the practice, but he didn't play. So yeah.
So and also I saw on social media, if he doesn't play, or if he didn't play tonight, he's not playing tomorrow. So you may as well. So it's going to be 7 games now that PD's missed since his upper body injury. So it really makes you question and ask what's going on. Is there something else going on that we're not privy to? But yeah, it's definitely strange that, you know, they said he's coming on the road trip. We've now played 3 games on the road trip, and the road trip technically, I don't have the schedule in front of me, but
there's 2 more games.
I think Boston
2
more,
is the next game,
and then Philly. So there's 2 more games. So he's already missed most of the road trip.
And the Canucks are winning. And then watch, once PD comes back, they start losing.
Yeah. Yeah, let's back down here. Good comment from Justin. Talking about, you know, going back to the Quinn Hughes conversation. Also, Luke Shen was underrated for his role in developing Quinn. Yeah, definitely.
Imagine he stayed after that bubble year, and Quinn and Tanev kept playing together. Come on, man. And then Tanev is like dad to Quinn, right? So if he instills that, you know what, be loyal, you know, it's not always just about winning. You know, he might still be in Vancouver. I'm talking about Quinn. And with Tanev being captain, I think a lot of people in the locker room would have been fine because they call him dad anyways, right? Well, but the problem is, it's just Bo was already on that team and he was already captain, right? So I think, Tanev would still have the A, and then Bo, I don't know, he'd still leave, and then Tanev probably would have been captain. Who knows? By the way, Abby just won 4-2 against the Tucson, whatever, Roadrunners. Yeah.
Yep. Awesome.
The Warriors won, the Canucks won, and the Abby Canucks won. So all 3 won today. I don't know. Isn't there? Oh no, that's tomorrow. So the Golden Eyes play tomorrow. It's also a triple header.
Busy sports day tomorrow. Wow. Japan 4 in the house. Your boys, PD's on LTIR.
Is he?
Well, he's on injured reserve.
He's on IR.
Yeah, I think that's just Steve being, you know, Steve. About PD. Do we have a date on PD? No, we don't. We again still don't even know what the injury is, or like what's going on. Did Baines clear? Yes, he did. He cleared waivers, and he's now with Abby. And I actually even said in my Nucks report earlier today, I think this is good for Abby to get a guy, a guy like Baines back in the lineup, getting some minutes, throw him on your top line, and look at that. Abby ends up winning tonight. Plus, I also think it's also a good thing that Reichel's down there too, so he can get some reps in and Abby instead of, sitting in the press box, and perhaps he can develop a little bit. I haven't quite thrown out
his
Reichel.
agent's looking for a trade for him right now.
Yeah, I know. But until then, at least he can get some reps in at Abby while we wait for that to go through. Kempner is on live right now. I'll have to check him out after this. Kevin Case.
So right now we have Hedel, Forbert, and Bluger on. Actually, no. Okay, Hedel, Forbert, and Bluger on IR. PD is day to day, and POJ is day to day.
Okay.
So Hedel's not even on LTIR right now. That's crazy. Interesting.
That's very interesting. Kevin K says we have no room in the roster for anyone to come off IR till more trades happen, or we send Sasson or Ogren down. Both do not need waivers. So yeah, there's an idea there. Although, wait,
they're not sending Sasson down.
They're not sending Sasson down. Like, he just extended with the team, and I'm pretty sure he does have to go through waivers.
No,
didn't he sign like
No,
he doesn't.
Actually, he does now, because he would have been waiver exempt if he played less than 39 games.
Yeah, and he's definitely played more than that.
No, this season.
Yeah, this
season. Right now they're at game. Actually, he might still be eligible. Let me look. He's played 31 games this season. He can still be sent down.
Okay, good. And then same thing with Ogren. I know with Trevor we were kind of talking about like, and this brings it back to the whole Ratu conversation about like why Ratu's not playing and who could you send down. Like, you could probably send Ogren down, and that's probably a good idea, especially with his familiarity with Lekaramaki. Have him on a line with Lekaramaki. And actually even Kevin K himself is like literally reading my mind here. In a line, just imagine a line of Ogren, Sasson, and Lekaramaki would be a great Abby line to build chemistry while they make room for them. And then that way you can put Ratu in the lineup as well, and he can actually play instead of sitting in the press box. But actually, this one's a good one. How do you guys feel about?
I think you know what. Wait a sec. I think you know what they need to do for next season is I feel like they need to develop Carlson to play center, because he technically is like he's listed as a center and a wing. If they can work on if he can get him down to Abby, I think he's able to. Or is he on a one-way? I think he's on a two-way. Okay, anyways, doesn't matter. If he is able to, is just get him down to Maholtra, get him to start doing face-offs, and imagine a line with like Ogren and Lekaramaki with Carlson centering it as your fourth one. If Carlson could start winning face-offs, that'd be pretty sick.
Where did that? Oh, here we go. Talking about OEL. How do you guys feel about OEL playing well for the Leafs at a massive discount while we pay him for 4 more years? I absolutely fucking hate it. And yeah, that's all I really got to say about it is I hate it. So I still think that was a bonus. Yeah, I'm kind of over the whole OEL thing. I don't even want to think about it. Same thing with Louis Eriksson as well. I don't care. I don't want to think about that. Apparently it's 8 to 2
ruined the
stars
team.
now.
That
Yeah.
ruined the team, Louis. Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah, don't even get me started on Louis Eriksson and how bad that was. But yeah, apparently it's 8 to 2 stars, so the Stars are whooping the Ducks right now. I love this from Urban, the ringless Canucks. You know, harken back to the whole Abby Canucks not getting there. They don't have their championship rings just yet. I actually just saw that story today, actually, like earlier today, and I was kind of mind blown by it. They don't have their championship rings yet. And then it did make me think back to, I think it was you, Gerald, who told me about Aquilini, you know, and that story about, you know, him not wanting to get the rings for the 2011. I literally thought of that right away and was like, this cheap ass. But
I mean, he has to fork it out anyways for the Calder Cup. Like,
Yeah.
it's not like he can't. Like, I just don't understand why he's delaying it. Like,
Yeah.
that's the problem.
I do like this from Urban. Ogren, Coots, and Lekaramaki. That
works too.
is going to be one heck of a line. I can already see it.
But it's a bit small, though.
Yeah, that is one thing I will say. It's a little small. But yeah, I mean, we haven't. I guess Coots has kind of gotten lost in the shuffle when it comes to like talking about him, because you know everyone's talking about like the Quinn Hughes trade, tanking, rebuilding.
No, he's doing well for juniors right now.
Yeah, I know he's made the team. Like he's not made the team, but he survived the latest round of cuts. I did see that.
He's pretty much locked up, man.
Yeah.
Trust. Like, he's on the second line. He's on the second line, and he's on PP1. I watched the game last night against Sweden. Coots wasn't as noticeable as McKenna and the other guy that was drafted, I think 12th last year. He scored the goal. But Coots definitely, you know, I don't think he was even supposed to make the team. So it's good news for the Canucks.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, honestly, next year, like I know we're still in this season, we're like about halfway through. I'm already looking forward to next season and him actually playing, not just for the Canucks potentially, if he's able to, you know, dazzle in training camp once again. But I'm more so looking forward to seeing him playing in Abbey, for sure.
Me too.
I really wish they didn't have that 19-year-old like rule, and he could be in Abbey like now. But
it's fine. He's tearing it up down there anyways, and it's building him confidence. It's not like he has nothing to prove. He has to prove something, because last season with Everett, he only had like 60 points. So not until like he lights it up and gets like 100 points, then we know who's ready for AHL.
Yeah.
Fourth
So
and
the Kraken
second.
did trade Marchment to Columbus for a fourth and a second, the second being in 2027. So wow. Kraken already selling off. That's pretty big.
That looks like Columbus is going hard for it.
Mm-hmm.
That means hey, they could potentially go for Sherwood, and we could potentially go for Kent Johnson.
Yeah. There's been a lot of talk
Because Kent
about
Johnson's not
Johnson
because Kent Johnson's not doing so hot this year anyways, but it's also like a sophomore bump, right? So dude, I would even go Sherwood and like a 27 second or like a third. I don't think they have their third this year. They have maybe a fourth, Sherwood, and a fourth for Kent Johnson. Oh, that would be sick, man. That would be so sick.
Yeah, and
but I think they're
Johnson's,
gonna focus on Sasson right now.
Yeah, I do agree with that. So yeah, that's pretty big. Yeah. Irving goes, they still want Sherwood. I mean, imagine if having Marchment and Sherwood in your lineup. Like, those are two guys who we talk about how Sherwood, is a heavy hitter. So is Marchment. I would just say Sherwood's slightly better, maybe offensively than Marchment. Duolingo says, at least this year. I'm surprised Sherwood for a first hasn't happened. I mean, like I said, I'm not even looking at X right now. Not that my phone's blowing up right now, but
because the issue with that is teams that still have a first. I think Trevor kind of touched on this earlier. Is that you have to look for a team that has multiple firsts, and if a team only has one first, and they're looking to make a big like a big move, they're probably going to want to keep that first. It's going to be teams like, I don't know, like for some reason, Colorado goes through some sort of injury problems. Then Colorado doesn't even have their first because Islanders have it from the Brock Nelson trade. So yeah, I don't see any team really going for a first unless it could be like a 27 first, but for a 26 first, it would have to be one of the higher teams that are making the playoffs for sure. The Wild are out of it because they gave us their first for this year. So I could see, I don't know. I really have to look at the other teams, but it's gonna be most likely a top prospect for Sherwood, if anything. Or maybe a first in 27. It's not going to be this year, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know some people have said that apparently the Canucks want a first and a now player. I think they should hold back on the now player and just maybe try and go for a first. And this was before he scored his hat trick tonight.
Dude, if Islanders are still down for that trade that I talked about earlier, do it. Just do it. Like, it's whatever. Like, who knows? Avs might be taken down by the Wild, and that becomes like 20 something. And then you also get like a good right wing. Well, I don't know how good he is, but he actually had 35 points last season. I think 10 goals and 25 assists. So why not? We need right wings.
Mm-hmm. Sorry. Irvin, let it all out, brother. Let it all out. Dylan Gunther, goddammit. No. Bad, yeah, PTSD. I know. Imagine what if it's a good one from Kevin K. I think the speed of Sasson with Karamaki and Ogren is the future. Yeah, again, I do think a line like that is very, very promising. You could say the same thing with Coots in between those two.
But it's still very small.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Speaking of Coots will be able to set up Besser and anyone else on the wing. That is definitely exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing him play with Besser more, and because Coots is a playmaker. He sets people up, and that's something that Besser's kind of been missing since JT left, with someone who can feed him the puck.
No, but Rossi made a really good move today.
Yeah,
like a pass. It was in the first period, I think. I think they just need time to they need more reps together, and I think it can become something very good between Rossi and Besser.
Mm-hmm.
The chemistry will be there.
Yeah, I totally agree. Coots is the most exciting pick they've had in like 30 years. Yeah, because yeah. Sorry, I had to think about that for a quick sec. Yeah.
How about Quinn Hughes? Yeah. How about Elias Pettersson? How about Brock Besser? I mean, Coots as a 15th. Besser was 23rd.
Mm-hmm.
PD was 5th. Hughes
And then
was
Hughes was
6th or 7th. Yeah.
So I guess you can put him in that same conversation as guys like PD, Hughes, Besser.
But what I think he's trying to allude to is like it's more of a gem, because I don't think people had Coots that high.
No, I think people thought Coots was going to go later on in the draft. They weren't actually sure that he was actually going to be picked at 15. They thought maybe closer to 20 or something like that. I mean, if you think back to the draft, and I've his name's slipping my mind right now, but I think he's someone who was it the Islanders who picked after us, and they picked that exact said player, who they predicted was going to be way higher in the draft than he was, and then he ended up not being picked. His name's, I'm drawing a blank on his name, but he's like Swedish. He's very highly touted, and I think the Islanders ended up picking him after us, but he was meant to go way earlier in the draft, and he didn't. And the Canucks could have potentially picked him as well if they weren't dead set on Braden Coots.
So do you say Islanders? So Islanders picked Eklund. Oh, Schaefer, Eklund.
That was him.
Aitken, yeah, and it was pick 16 and 17.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking of, was Eklund. You know, everyone said he was going to go like way higher in the draft, and then he ended up falling back several spots. And
yeah, Eklund was high, was supposed to be high.
And he was drafted after Coots. So. I'm going to pull this up too. Apparently it's 9 to 2 stars now. So they're really giving it to the Ducks right now. Only 3 star players don't have at least 1 point tonight. That's crazy. Yeah.
Yo, so Eklund is actually the younger brother of William Eklund, who plays for the Sharks, and he's playing quite well.
Yeah.
He led the under 20 players in Sweden, 19 goals and 31 points in 42 games. Had 6 points, 2 goals, 4 assists in 7 games for Sweden at the World Juniors as the youngest player on the team. So yeah, he would have been a good one.
Apparently it's still 8 to 2. That 9th goal.
It is 8 to 2.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I hit all my bets tonight.
Yeah. Boston has 2 firsts. So yeah, that's one team that has been in on the Kiefer Sherwood sweepstakes is Boston. You know, ironically, we play them tomorrow. Definitely.
It would have been funny if they traded Sherwood to Boston tonight and then we play them tomorrow. Yeah.
And hey, at least Quinn Hughes would be in Minnesota, because you know how Quinn Hughes absolutely hated playing Sherwood. That would have been pretty funny as well. We got dueling Stars or a Wagon. I think it will be Stars versus Oilers Western Conference Final. Yeah, I could certainly see that for sure. I know a lot of people are high on the Stars right now.
They got screwed last year. Like, yeah.
Oh, Kevin K says, sorry, Boston and Chicago have 2 first round picks. So there you go. Maybe Chicago.
No, Chicago's not going to trade for Sherwood. No. I mean, come on, man. Chicago's might not even make the playoffs this year.
True, very true. Irvin Sherwood for Geeky.
Tempting. Yeah. Very tempting.
After Boston sees Sherwood tomorrow, they will fall in love. Give us the Boston own first pick from Toronto. Because apparently they have their own first round pick and they have Toronto's first round pick. That would be sweet. Yeah, hey, I would take that. I mean, honestly, I'd take anything that was a first round pick. I mean, obviously, I would much prefer if it was a higher first round pick. I just want 3 first round picks. That's all. I want us to pick 3 times in the first round. That's all I want.
I don't think the Canucks have ever. I don't think the
No, they
Canucks have
haven't.
ever drafted 3 times. The most
No.
was 2 at the 99.
Yeah.
And that was for the Sedins.
No, we've never had 3 first-round picks before, so that's a big reason why I want it. Because they've never had it before, and it would just be great to get 3 more first-round picks.
I think Irving would love that.
It has to be a sign-in trade.
I think he's
for
talking about
Sherwood.
Geeky.
Oh, Geeky, yeah. Oh, geez, Justin. Sherwood and Garland for Zadorov in the Toronto first. But, yeah. I mean, does Zadorov even... Like, I'm not sure if he has any protection, like trade protection or anything with Boston. I'd probably have to look that up. But the question is, would he even want to come back?
I don't think so. He threw so much shade at to
Quinn
Vancouver.
Hughes. And Quinn Hughes, apparently. I think there's something going on between those two.
Zadorov has no move clause.
Yeah.
In the first year, and then a modified for the second.
Yeah.
And he signed this in 24, so this year it's a modified.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, no trade clause this year.
Oh.
No movement last year, no trade this year, and then modified no trade in 26 to 30.
Yeah, I don't.
All right, people, serious question time. Did you know that driving high is considered driving under the influence? That's right. Driving under the influence of marijuana is against the law in every state. That means even in states where marijuana is legal. That means driving high could get you a DUI. And if you think law enforcement officers can't tell when you're driving high, well, you're wrong. If you're high, they can tell. Your friends can tell. Your coworkers can tell. Even your parents can tell. Everyone can tell. So what makes you think that law enforcement officers don't know when you're driving high? You'd be wrong. They can tell too. Driving under the influence of marijuana can slow your response time and change how you perceive time and speed. So even if you think you're fine to drive when you're high, you're not. Because the bottom line is, if you feel different, you drive different, and driving high is driving under the influence. So remember, drive high, get a DUI. Paid for by NHTSA.
Hey, this is Steve Gorman, radio host, sports commentator, former drummer for the Black Crowes. The winter holidays are here, a time for festive celebrations, family gatherings, and ringing in the new year. Whether it's a holiday party, a night out with friends, or just relaxing by the fire with a few drinks, it's a season full of good cheer. But here's something else to add to your holiday plans, a safe and sober ride home. Just like in sports and music, always have a game plan. And the most important part of any plan is sticking to it. If you plan to drink, take that plan a step further. Call a rideshare, a taxi, a sober friend, or have a designated driver lined up before the night begins. Drinking and driving is a decision that can change your life and the lives of others forever. A DUI, a crash, an injury. The consequences are real and lasting. So please, for your sake and for everyone else on the road, make the smart choice. Get a sober ride home. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
I don't see us getting Aitchison if we made a trade with the Islanders. Islanders would not be willing to give him up, I don't think. He was pretty high on them, and I just don't really see the Islanders dipping into their prospect pool, especially if we're talking like Sherwood. Irvin,
I mean,
let's get Michael Misa.
Let's get Chardol on here.
Yeah. Don't tell Chardol that you want to get Michael Misa. That's his favorite player. And hey, cool. We're at the bottom for comments. Sweet.
Are we? That's great.
Yeah. Still can't believe we had 4 first rounders between 2013 and 2014, and only have Rodick and Radu to show for it. Yeah. When you put it that way, that's freaking brutal. Wow. Yeah, I have like 40 comments starred on this post-game show, which is that's crazy. That's how many comments we had, especially with having Trevor on. 40 starred comments, and I probably wasn't even able to get to all of the starred comments. I mean, I did the best I could, but wow, 40 starred comments.
Is Duolingo still here? If you're here, say something in the chat.
Yeah, I think Duo's still here. I mean, last message we got from Duo was 9:23, which is this one. Talk about. But he's, knowing Duo. Oh yeah, Duo's still here. Duo's always here. I mean, maybe. But you might have to package something with Sherwood to probably even get the Islanders at the table. If you were thinking about like Aitchison.
Yeah, it's gonna be Sherwood and a pick of some sort.
Yeah. And it might be somewhere where the Canucks won't want to go when it comes to said pick. Irvin. If the Canucks play the Sharks on the 27th, get shot on. We'll see.
Tyler, look at 8:29 and 8:30, and then just highlight that for me. And then I just want to thank Duolingo for that. I think he wants you to know.
Wait, hang on. Did I star that one or?
Nope, you didn't start it. 8:29 and then 8:30.
All right, I'm looking back. Almost there. Eight.
And I think I read somewhere in the comments too. I think it might have been Duolingo or someone else. Yeah, I'm keeping this the stash because of the handlebars just for a few more days, at least to the 21st. That means like I grew it for a month, for a good 7 weeks. So 21 more days than the month.
Talking about that one?
There we go. Thank you, Duolingo.
And then this one as well. Urban and Gerald. Yeah, definitely.
And Irving wasn't even. Yeah, and Irvin wasn't even on the show. He was just commenting.
Yeah. Well, that's what's so great about this community is we got we can agree to disagree on things, but at the end of the day, we are all Canuck fans at the end of the day, and we just want one Stanley Cup, like Trevor said earlier. One Stanley Cup, and like what Rev Trev says all the time, one before we die. At least one. Focused on his see, I can't even do that. But it's think about
the Leafs. Since 67 until now. It's almost been 50 years. I mean, the Canucks right now are at 55 years, almost 56 years. But the Leafs haven't won since 67. And that was even before the Canucks were in the NHL. And I don't think they're going to be winning anytime soon either with their new captain.
This is a good one from Kevin King. The Sharks would love Garland, and Garland would love the Sharks. They have two firsts. Plus, Garland himself likes Sharks. So it's like a win-win for all parties involved.
Like he likes Sharks as the creature, or
yeah,
like just
he does. He does.
Okay.
He's a big like shark and jaws like freak. Like that's a big reason why he named his son Quentin. It was Quinn Hughes is his godfather, but he named him after the character from Jaws. At least that's what what I heard. So yeah, he's a big like shark, and if I think they did it last year, where I'm not sure it was like a Canucks exclusive thing where they actually kind of like toured his house or something in the off season, and he had like a bunch of like Jaws and shark stuff like throughout his house. So yeah, I think that would be a pretty win-win for all parties involved if he went to the Sharks.
Yeah, but are the Sharks going to make the playoffs this year is another question.
Yeah, and the question is, are they willing to give up a first? I mean, you would think for a guy like Garland.
Oh yeah, I mean, for 6 years,
sure.
$6 million a year, that's a great contract that the Canucks did. It was very tidy.
Mm-hmm.
6 years for 6 million?
Yeah.
Super tidy contract.
Mm-hmm. Irvin, would you settle for a Stanley Cup with no rings?
Yeah. Because we don't see the rings, we just see the cup.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I just want like, our day with the cup, or at least, having the players, come to like the North Shore or something like that and have their day with the cup and have a big party or whatnot with it. That's all I want. I don't need no ring. I already got a ring.
You can wait until Bedard gets a cup. He'll be in the Valley.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Exactly.
And then Celebrini will be back in town if he wins a cup. So
yeah. Looking back down. Yeah. Steve says if Garland goes anywhere, he's getting a first rounder from anyone. Yeah, for sure. I think it's
gonna be at least a first and a prospect, or a first and a second, or maybe even like, dare I say, 2 firsts.
Yeah.
For Garland.
I mean, yeah, that you could. Yeah. I mean, Quinn couldn't even get 2 firsts. Like, I mean, technically, obviously, Ogren, Rossi, and Bouillon were all first round picks themselves, but we only got 1 actual draft pick. I know you were wanting the Wild to throw in like an extra pick in there, but if we can't get multiple first round like actual draft picks for Quinn Hughes, I'm not sure if we can get 1 or 2 for sure. Right?
No, because the thing is, if you think about it, the Wild gave us quality players that were first round picks.
Mm-hmm.
These are players that was drafted by none other than Judd Brackett, like the guru of scouting. So it's technically giving us first and drafting from our old head scout. And I'm fine with that. Because if they gave us first, we have to wait for them to develop. It's not like you're going to get like a Schaefer or a Bedard or like a Celebrini that can just, jump into your lineup right away. You have to wait at least a couple years before they come. So getting someone like Ogren, I think, is fine. He's only played, tonight was his 49th game. I think it's fine. Like, I think it's even better than getting a first because you don't have that unknown where you're drafting this player. Is he actually gonna hit? So Garland and another maybe previous first round pick that they drafted, but I'm not too sure about the Sharks scouting.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, looking back at this draft or the trade for Quinn, I think it was great because you have someone that's proven that scouts very well, and you got those first round picks.
Mm-hmm.
Like Buum. Like, come on, man. Like he went lower. He dropped to 12th? He should have been much higher. And right now, I think he has 4 goals. Schaefer has 9. I think Buum might have played a few less games too. I wouldn't be surprised if Buum starts scoring. He could go for a run for the Calder this year.
Yeah. Anyway, hang on. Where was it? Imagine trading Garland and Sherwin for first. It's what dreams are made of. Yeah, imagine if the Canucks had not 3 first-round picks, but 4. That would be crazy.
Yeah.
Kevin K.
You also
says,
you also have to put into account that this year, even though the draft is quite, talented, a lot of them are defensemen. Do we need defensemen? Like, we have Mancini, we have DPD, we have Buem, we have Willander. Like, I think we're set on D-men right now. So, yeah, and then the rest are all left wings, with exception of like maybe a couple right wingers in the first round. You know what? Even if you don't get McKenna, I'd be super happy if they got Malhotra, or even I think it's Runeberg or Rune something. Like, he's another big boy, 6'3" center. Was injured this year a little bit, coming back. Those players. You don't need a lot of firsts. 2 would be plenty if they can move up.
You're talking about Stenberg?
Could be Stenberg, and there's the ones that I have been looking at have been. So you can continue with the thing. I'll tell you when I find it.
I think the only one I'm really looking at is Malhotra. Thank you for that, by the way. I don't know if you saw my video earlier, but or my short that I did, where I talked about Malhotra and just how giddy I am about getting a guy like him, and basically begging the question: if they can't get the first overall pick, but if they still get a top 5, they should use that on Malhotra.
You realize he's jumped up to top 5 now, right?
Yeah, no.
Like
that's why I said
the
top 5.
Prospects?
Yeah. That's why if they get a top 5 pick, they need to get him, and not and especially if they're out of. I mean, heck, even if they got a top 3, I would say you should take him top 3. That's how high I am on this kid.
I'm glad you see where I'm coming from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've opened my eyes.
Shit, I actually wrote it somewhere in one of the chats.
Oh,
it's gone.
Looks like Kevin K may have found it. Rubric, something like that. Yeah.
And also, I think Lawrence. Was it Lawrence? Like, there's another.
I think there was a Tynan Lawrence. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. So I would say McKenna, Malhotra, Lawrence, or even Ryan Borek. Yeah.
I do want to get back and touch on this because I had it brought up. How about Kane and Garland for both Shark first? I don't think the Sharks want anything to do with Kane whatsoever.
Yeah.
And that's just based off of like his past history with the team. I know I've seen it in some of the comments as well. Kane's been there, done that for San Jose. But also Kane is losing value because of his lack of physicality or heart this year. But I don't see Kane ever going back to San Jose. Like, there's a reason why he got out of San Jose when he did. I think I even actually watched. I mean, hell, if you watch the Canucks, the most recent Canucks game against San Jose, they were booing the shit out of him. Like, every time every time he touched the puck, they were booing the shit out of him. So I don't see him going
5 years. It's been like 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't see him going back to San Jose.
I think Stevie had a question too. Stevie had a comment.
Draft Yeah, he's got the draft. Mathis Preston going. Oh wow, Gavin McKenna's dropped down to 5?
Yeah.
Wow. Mathis
And I'm
Preston at
surprised
number 1.
Verhoff too.
Yeah. Xavier Vin, I can't even pronounce that. Left-handed defenseman.
It might not have dropped. It's
Stenberg.
just different lists from different media, right?
Mhm.
And different people have
Mhm.
have the prospects at different places.
Yeah. And then there's Stenberg at number 3, Tynan Lawrence, Gavin McKenna, and then Verhoff. But yeah, I think the last one that I looked at, Verhoff was number 1. The last, at least the one that I was looking at when I was talking about Malhotra.
That's the Sportsnet one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even Steinberg, I think he's like, he's like 5'11" though.
Yeah, I think he's really small.
A lot of the players in this draft are actually under 6. There's only maybe a handful that are over 6. Or over 6'1".
Get Stanvin. I don't even know what the hell you're saying there. Out of Transylvania. I don't know who that is.
That's another prospect.
But yeah, Kane isn't like any team he played with. Doesn't that say something? Why the hell did we trade for him? Because we were losing Besser, right? They need to ship him out. Yeah, I still think that is the whole reason why the Canucks, acquired him, is because they were under the impression Besser was gone, and they were thinking, oh, we'll replace Besser with Kane, which is, dumb talk.
But he played very well today. I have to say.
Yeah,
he
did. Well. He did.
He was like a tank. He was just an engine roaming around.
Yeah, he absolutely played well tonight. And did you guys hear while watching the game? You actually heard him cuss on the ice when I think he got hauled down. Like he was trying to get another breakaway, and you actually hear him go like, fuck. Yeah. He's channeling his inner JT Miller there. And I'll admit, I kind of laughed when I heard that.
No, but he always does that though. He
Yeah.
always does that. Especially when he gets a penalty, that's all he does. He just complains. But he got hauled down, and then whoever, I think it was Pelk that took him down, who got the penalty. Yeah. His stick kind of hit him in the face, and he's checking for blood and whatever, trying to get 4 minutes. But yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering why he was touching his face like that. I was like, dude, you got tripped. You didn't get hit.
No, he got tapped. His stick at the end, when he got down, he got tapped.
Yeah, I probably would have to look at the replay of it again, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did, if that was why he was, touching his face. Everyone says, so Marchment with 4 goals and 9 assists got a second and a fourth. Yeah. So yeah, that should kind of tell you that Sherwood's going to get a lot more. A lot.
So a first
more.
And a third. A first and a third.
Yeah. Clip that.
Seriously? Sherwood for first and a third?
I'm just trying to test out the AI thing. That's all, too. I don't actually know if it actually works. So that's why I did that. And that's why I did the long pause. So, yeah, I'm sure it doesn't bring back a first. I'll be so upset. Yeah, I think a lot of people will be upset if he doesn't pull back a first. Canucks Uncensored in the building. Brock for captain. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot more people leaning towards Brock as a captain, on social media and stuff, and that whole discussion about a captain. And hey, I'd be on board with Brock as captain, even though I'm kind of leaning towards Garland. But obviously we don't know Garland's future right now.
Yeah, if they trade Garland, which I don't think is ever going to happen, they should just and then still keep Sherwood, make Sherwood captain. And I know for sure that comment, Canucks Uncensored, that's Jordan. So what's up, Jordan?
Yeah. Sorry, bro. I was just trolling with that name.
The prospects.
Yeah. If we got a first and a third, we'd be so happy for Sherwood. Yeah. No. We talk about how the Hughes trade was a haul. I think that would be a bit of a haul for a guy like Sherwood. Getting a first and a third, that would be quite the haul.
It'd be a low second. Like if they got a third to one of those teams, it would be a low second, so it's fine. There's still gems there.
Yeah. Urban asked, would you take Sherwood for 2 high seconds?
Yeah. I would.
Yeah,
because it's just a low first anyways. Like whatever first that we're gonna get, it's gonna be a low first, so why not 2 high seconds? I'd be happy with it.
Yeah. Personality wise, I love Brock way better than Petey or Hughes. Fair point.
I mean Brock has taken a lot of leadership too, right? I mean, you notice on the ice, he's always talking to the refs. He's going to the penalty box when there's like calls that are, they don't agree with, or he's checking. Like he's been doing a lot of that too, and that's when Huggy was not on the ice, or even if Huggy was there. So I mean, I think management is grooming Brock to be the second, but it's just very ironic because they didn't want to re-sign him or didn't want to offer him that money, and then now they're grooming him to be a captain. It's just
it's odd.
Everything's so wrong about that.
Yeah, and then like even with Brock, Brock's been the longest tenured Canuck. He's shown that he wants to be here. He's been a team guy this entire time, and then as you just said, the team was hesitant to re-sign him last year. Freaking basically disrespected him with the Alvin comment. I know Alvin has since apologized, but that's a different. But they do that comment. They make it seem
Honestly, it means nothing. It means shit what Alvin said. Doesn't for me, if I was Brock, I'd be like, fuck you. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
You apologize. Like you did it. You knew and still did it.
Yeah.
And he took less money too. He took less money to stay.
Yeah.
But Brock needs to start scoring. Like, I mean, like I said earlier in the comments, like, he's getting the chances, but he's just not finishing. So, I don't know. It's just very frustrating to see that for him, and I'm sure he's really frustrated too.
Canucks uncensored. What are you talking about, Gerald? Totally wit here.
Right. Wit would not say that. So yeah.
Okay, we'll do 2 more and then we'll call it there.
Sounds good.
But the first one, how much more is Garland worth than Sherwood right now? That's actually a pretty good question.
I really don't know. I think the issue is given that Garland has an extension already, he would be a little bit more valuable, but also because of how Garland's been playing this season, or not this season, like the last 10 games, I would say 10 to 15 games, he just hasn't been on it. So I mean, the value wise, he's not showing that value for a $6 million player. I mean, he's still getting paid 4.95. In actual cash, I think it's like 5.5. But yeah, like the value for Sherwood's probably a little higher right now, but by trade deadline, I would say you'll have to see how their play is. So like Trevor said, whoever hauls you the more assets, that's the one you trade. But given that Garland already did the extension, it's kind of a slap in the face. And also, it's if Garland wants to stay or not. Obviously, he's going to say he's going to stay. And then by the time his no movement clause kicks in next season, he could still request a trade because it's the player's right. He earned the no movement, but he also has a right to request a trade. So obviously, he's going to say all the right things right now. He's probably pissed off that Quinn's gone. So, I mean, if Minnesota's willing to do it and Garland's okay with it, by all means, go to Minnesota. But I think Minnie's looking for a center right now, and I don't think that's going to happen.
Duo says Brock was a beast in the playoffs. I won't forget his performance, so I got faith in him. And we'll end off with this one because it's an actual question from Urban. And he says, rank these right wings: Garland, Besser, Sherwood. Oof. I'll go. Like, this is tough just because I love all three of them. But I'm going to go Besser, Garland, Sherwood in that order.
As of right now, though, I would say Sherwood, Besser, Garland.
Yeah. That's my like generalizing it, not necessarily based off of like, tonight and what's going on like this season per se, but just in general speaking, I would go Besser, Garland, Sherwood. But right now, yeah, I would have Sherwood up at the top for sure.
I mean, I think to be very honest, I think Sherwood could be a very good. Like, he's one of those late bloomers that just figured out he can score. I mean, he did score at the lower levels, but I think he's a late bloomer, and I think whoever's trading for him, they'll get a good deal if they extend him even 5. Like, right now, if he stays the way he's playing right now, and if he doesn't go like, oh, I got a big contract, screw it, I don't care. If he plays this way, I would give him 4.5, 5 million. I'd give him 5 million for 3 years if he's willing for it. If he's looking for a 5-year deal, then maybe like 4.5. If the Canucks give him 4 right now for a 5-year deal, I think he might do it. Given like the prospects, like the new players that have come in, and they're playing well together right now, why not? I mean, if he believes in the team, if he loves Vancouver as much as he says he does, then do a 3-year. We'll give you 5 for 5, so 15 million for 3 years, 5 a year, or 5 years at 4 for 20 million. That's still a good deal, man. Like, if I was him, I'd take that. And I think because Rutherford is 77 and he's probably has Aquaman in his ear, they want to win like now. I mean, with all the moves that they've made so far, getting roster players instead of picks and whatnot, they want to try to win within the next couple of years. So if Sherwood's willing to do 3 years at 5 million, do it. He could probably be even like better than Bess. Could be.
Yeah, definitely.
Plays a heavy game.
I'll end with this. This is not necessarily a question, but I'll end with this one because Duo's been on the mark tonight. I'll end with this one. This was a great show. Need to catch up later on the podcast. Missed most of the guests. Yeah, definitely rewatch when we had Trevor Beggs from Locked On Canucks on. That was still, I mean, I know that was like, what, almost, well, we went about an hour with, almost an hour with Trevor, which is great. So that was a little over an hour ago, but that was still great to have Trevor on. I'm glad he said yes and was able to come on and talk to us. And I'm glad you were able to, get some questions in there. I know I didn't have too many. I just had my like regular standard ones that I usually ask a guest, like who's your favorite? Yeah. I mean, I omitted favorite team because I think it's pretty obvious now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had my like standard ones. But it was great to have Trevor on. I'm really glad I was able to do that. And who knows? Hopefully I can try and get Kyle on at some point. I'm not sure if Kyle does that or not, but hey, no, that's his choice. But yeah, having Trevor on was great. This was a great post game here tonight. We're a little over 2.5 hours, which is not bad. And yeah, any parting or last words, Gerald?
I would say I don't know. I think we'll have to see tomorrow's game. Are you gonna? Oh, we're doing the watch party tomorrow, so you're probably not gonna do a post game after that.
I'll probably do a post game later that night,
Okay.
like after I get home.
We'll see if I'm still out, but we'll see how Lankinen does. I think we could see a loss tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think the 3-game we're good. I think that's it. It ends in Boston. And then we'll probably pick one up in Philly if Demmer starts it. Not really high on Lankinen right now, especially like he seems cold. He hasn't played in a while. And yeah, man, I've been harping all season about his rebound control, and I'm not really high on Lankinen. And I think at some point, I think you're gonna clip this, but at some point in the season, maybe even by trade deadline, if Demmer is playing well, if he's still on this streak, doesn't get injured, Lankinen might request a trade out. So don't be surprised. I think by trade deadline, if Lankinen feels like he's not getting enough playing time, he could request a trade. And I think that would work in favor of the rebuild because we don't need 2 goalies at $13 million a year starting next season as a tandem. Like there's no point. And we have Tolopilo, and even Tolopilo has kind of outplayed Lankinen. So if Lankinen does feel like, oh, I'm not getting the playing time that I deserve, he might request a trade. He has a no movement clause, but he can request a trade and he'll be like, I'm done. Like I need more time. I don't want to play for a team that's like mushy middle or whatever. And yeah, so that's my hot take for the night. Don't be surprised if Lincoln requests a trade at trade deadline.
Clip that. Then we got Swervin. Lankinen for Sealoffs. Oh man. Harry says Lank to Toronto. What Lank for what? Wall? Or no, Toronto probably won't do Hildeby, but Lankinen for Wall, Joseph Wall.
If Toronto can actually string some wins together, if not, they're not making the playoffs this year. Okay. Dude, they are a mess right now. It's just ridiculous. Like the last game against Washington, getting shut out, and then the night before that, I can't even remember who they were playing, but they were down 2-0, and then all of a sudden in the third they got some quick goals by Austin Matthews and I don't know whoever, but they ended up winning 3-2, but it was like super fluky. So yeah, Berube, man,
Yeah,
he says
he's not happy.
Did you look at the interview? They asked him. He's like, "Oh, what do you think?" He goes, "You ask them." Like, he goes,
Yeah,
"You go ask the players." Like, it's just like it's some of the things it's out of his control. It's just the players, right? So hopefully,
yeah,
Canucks don't get to that point. Things are looking on the up, and as much as people want to tank, if they win tomorrow, they're only 3 points out of the wild card. So anything can happen. Like Trevor says, it's in sports, anything can happen. And maybe the Canucks do make the playoffs. And, they start gelling together, playing as a team. And who knows? If they play the Avs, it'll definitely be good experience for the kids. And then if the Wild don't do well, then why not package the Canucks and Wild pick and move up and get that one player, and I think we're good. Like that's another option there, right? So anything can happen from now to the end of the season or to trade deadline. But like I've said on Clay's show, just go with the flow. Everything's already happened. Whatever happens in the beginning, it happens for a reason. So just let it happen naturally, and then we'll see how it turns out at that point. Because us stressing over right now, it means nothing. Like we can't control it as fans. We can only, sort of stand idly by and support the team the best we can. And it's just to watch the games or just talk about the Canucks on the streams. But at the end of the day, we have no control over any of that. So people shouldn't argue with each other on what they think. We might always think that we're right. I'm definitely not always right, but I don't see a fact or a point in arguing with Canucks fans like amongst each other for the fact of something that we can't control, right? So
Yeah,
just go with the flow. Take it easy.
yeah, for sure. And hey, Duo, you missed it. He already gave it. Kevin Lankinen is going to ask for a trade by the deadline. That is his next hot take. Now we'll see if it ends up coming to fruition, because I guess you can say you're already 1 for 1 with the whole Quinn Hughes thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, there is his call. He's saying Kevin Lankinen is going to request a trade by the trade deadline. That is Gerald's next hot take. That
is if Demmer goes on a heater and plays well. Canucks might entertain that because they have Tolopilo. So the only problem is, do Canucks? So if Lankinen requests it, that's fine. But if Canucks ask him, that's a different story. Yeah. And the second thing is, the only thing that I worry about is if Demmer goes on a heater and then somehow gets injured, kind of like the 23-24 season in the playoffs, gets injured, then you're kind of screwed because you only have Tolopilo. Then who is your backup?
Yeah.
Is it going to be Ty Mueller, or is it going to be
Ty Young?
Ty Young, or is it going to be like Patera? If it's Patera, we're screwed, man.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's only under the conditions that A, Lankinen requests for a trade, and B, they have that confidence in Demko being healthy, and he plays out the rest of the season. I feel like he's doing well. I feel like he's back in his groove. He's playing better than his usual self already. So as long as he doesn't get overplayed, I think we'll be fine. And then we'll get rid of Lankinen's 5.5, and at that point they can probably turn that 5.5 into something else, and we'll get rid of Kane. But we'll talk about that then. The hot take is Lankinen at the trade before the trade deadline, if he requests it.
All right. How about this one? With that whole scenario in mind, if they're able to get off that $5 million off the books of Lankinen, give it to Sherwood. Give it to Sherwood.
5.5 to Sherwood. Yeah, I like that too.
Oh.
I like that. Yeah. Especially if they have a team that they know they can compete right now with those kids, then why not re-sign Sherwood? And like I said, 3 years, $5 million a year for 15 total. Do it, because that works in the same time frame as Demko, because Demko has a 3-year, and then I think, and then I'll have to look at other contracts, but I think that works great.
Yeah, and you guys heard it here first on the Line Change podcast. Lankinen requests a trade by the trade deadline. The Canucks are able to move off that $5.5 million, and they use it to sign Sherwood. Book it.
Booyah. You said they use it on Sherwood, but
I mean, I've been saying that since the beginning. Like, hey, remember my other take where I said, they trade Kane by the deadline and use that money to get Sherwood? It's basically the same thing, just instead of
you can't because Kane's contract ends this year. So they're not going to retain him anyways. Yeah. So that money can't really go to Sherwood. It has to be someone else.
We'll end it there. We're at almost 3 hours, which is crazy. And I got a lot of work to do. I got a Raw 2 video I want to do that I'm going to go, not unleashed, but I'm gonna rant a lot on that video because I can't get over this whole stuff going on with Atu Ratu and Drew O'Connor, your whipping boy. So I want to get to work on that, get things going for that. For those of you that did tune in to the next report earlier this afternoon, I hope you guys liked the new little intro that I did. I was up pretty late working on that last night. I didn't want it to be like too big, but I wanted to do something cool. Here I'll let's see if I can copy this and post this in the chat.
And then pin
Right
it
here.
So
I'm not sure if
I
can
don't
pin
know.
it through here.
Yeah, you can probably just like highlight it.
Yeah, I'll do that.
So
Boom.
like that. So if some of you notice I still have it on, it's because I'm still trying to get more donations for the year. Apparently I can do it until the end of the year. So if you are here to support mental health, men's mental health, or men's health in general, help me out. Click the link. Any amount is appreciated, even if it's like $2, $5, whatever. Like whatever you are able to help out with would be greatly appreciated. Trying to raise more funds for Movember, which is why I have this ugly handlebar mustache that I've left since Halloween. I definitely appreciate it, because just trying to raise as much funds for Movember and specifically mental health, because it is important. That's why I rant about, stop wasting your time on hypotheticals and worrying about, what could happen, what should happen, or why something happened. Just enjoy the games. The games are fun to watch right now, and don't worry about the rest. But if you're here to show some support, would definitely appreciate those donations. And thank you, Tyler, for having me and letting me submit that link.
Yeah, of course, always. Well, I want to end this off by thanking my secondary sponsor, Gassy Jack Art. I thanked DraftKings earlier. I want to thank Gassy Jack Art. Want to support him, and if you are looking for a holiday gift, go ahead and check them out at gassjackart.com. As you guys have seen from Clay's streams, my streams, all those that artwork you see, that is from Jack. So go ahead, check them out at gassjackart.com. That's going to do it for tonight's post-game show. Once again, the Vancouver Canucks defeat the New York Islanders 4-1, as you guys can see up there. And don't worry, I'll try and get rid of these Christmas lights. They're kind of a little much. I was, in a holiday mood when I was doing the layout here. Canucks win 4-1, and they continue to win despite losing their best player a week ago. And perhaps that'll continue tomorrow when they're in Boston. Who knows? Perhaps this winning streak will finally come to an end, and we'll get a good old dose of reality tomorrow against them Bruins. So, and also, if you guys aren't aware, Canucks Army is holding a watch party at Greta. You do need to make a reservation. So comb through their social media. I believe they have the number. I don't have it on me right now, but make a reservation while you can. And definitely join us down at Greta tomorrow. Doors open at 3 p.m. Puck drops at 4 p.m. So go ahead and check them out.
Do you want the phone number?
Tyler. Sure. Why not?
I think I can put it in the chat, right? Or in my comments.
Yeah. If you want to put it in the chat, we can definitely do that.
No, I'm not allowed to. I'll put it in the chat for you to put up. So just text that number. Tyler will be there. I know some other people from the community will be there. I should be there. So if you want to watch the game, come hang out with us a little bit, have questions for us, meet us in person. Hit that text.
Here's the number.
Send a text.
Send a text to this number to try and book your reservation for Greta. I'm not sure if spots are already filled or not, but definitely text that number to get your reservation, because trust me, if you don't get a reservation, you're probably not going to get a table or be able to sit down. So definitely text that number to get your reservation done. And if you guys do turn up, feel free to say hello. Guys like David Quadrelli will be there, Harmon Dial, the guys from Sakaris and Price, J Pat might show up. I mean, he might be there for a little bit, but he won't be there for the entire, because obviously he has to do rink wide. Who knows? Maybe even Irfan Gafar might be there. He was there. I'm not sure if it was last time or maybe
Not last time.
The time before that. At least one of the ones that I've gone to recently. Irf was there, not last one, but I think it was the one before that. But yeah, definitely check it out. Also, Greta's just a great place to go and hang out. You know, the arcade games, not that I'm sponsored by Greta and I'm actively plugging them, but I just absolutely love Greta as a whole. So definitely check them out. And who knows, maybe we will see you there. But as I said, my name's Tyler. This is Gerald. You guys have been watching the Line Change postgame show. Thanks for watching. And if you guys like this video, be sure to hit that like button. And if you want to stay up to date on all your Vancouver Canucks content, be sure to smash that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you don't miss a single video. You can find us on social media. All the social media is listed right there. Feel free to give us a follow on all of our social media platforms. If you want to continue the discussion, keep the conversation going, join our official Discord. There is a link in the description down below. It's completely free to join. So go ahead and check that out. If you prefer a audio version of this podcast, you can find us on both Spotify and Apple Podcasts. On Spotify, feel free to give us a follow as well as rate and review us. It is, of course, greatly appreciated, and it really helps out the podcast. Well, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys possibly tomorrow. I will let you guys know what time our post-game will be on, and then obviously I'll let you guys know if Gerald will be able to join us or not. We will see, and until then, go Canucks go, and we'll see you guys next time.
Hey, Campoli missed the puck. Ryan Johnson just gets it out. And he stuffed the puck back in. Campoli trying to clear it. Burrow shoots, scores!
Happy holidays. Want to give your host a gift? Consider subscribing, rating, and reviewing the show this holiday season. It really helps the show grow. From all of us at Believe, have a Merry Christmas, everyone, and a happy holiday. If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.